Hello there, and welcome back. This is where the stream begins. Happy to be back and doing another live stream, guys. It's been a little while. This last month really flew by kind of quickly. Stuff was pretty busy for me in general, so I just didn't have a chance to even think about streaming. And here we are, the month is over and we're starting a new month. So I figured, what the heck? Let's go and get a stream on, especially because my dude Sci-Fi Guy is always excited for the next stream, always asking about it in the comments and videos and stuff like that. So always love to be here and hanging out with Sci-Fi Guy. Great dude. Always appreciate the support. As always, he is number one in the chat for the live stream. Very early and prompt and just showing lots of love. So always appreciate you, dude. Great energy. And yeah, we're here to stream, man, and here to talk about some Battle of Geonosis. So yeah, happy to be back, guys. How Runner Base, also great dude. What's up? Let's go. Yeah, man. Bring that energy. Um, let's see if we got any more people in the chat yet. Seems like some people are slowly making their way in. Liked. Awesome. Appreciate that, Jez Bear. 1972. Appreciate the likes. Let's see what else we got. WD7422. May the force be with you, my friend, and also with you. Happy to have you here. Ready to talk some Star Wars and some Battle Geonosis. Heck yeah, man. Always appreciate you, Sci-Fi dude. Always appreciate you. But yeah, like I was saying, there were a few reveals kind of recently and stuff like that. I did a reveals video about some of the items that were dropped, but I did kind of want to like get on here, talk about it a little bit more, and also get like, some more of you guys' like feelings on it and stuff like that. And just as I kind of like sit back and like look at what we're slowly building with the Battle of Geonosis like theme for the vintage collection, so far not too bad, I gotta say. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm definitely excited for the gunships to start flying on in and landing in our collections. Don't know where I'm gonna put them all. I did get 5 like a maniac. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put them. Definitely kind of hyped to have like more than one at least for like a photo. I think that's very appropriate when it comes to Attack of the Clones, which by the way, I was literally just watching to get like a little bit hyped for the stream. I like got back from the gym, made a little bit of food, and I was like, you know what? Let me just watch the arena scene just to like kind of get in the vibes. And man, yeah, definitely pretty excited to have this gunship coming. Just also like with the presentation we're gonna go through, it's kind of seeing the pictures again of like the gunship like prototypes and stuff and like the detail there. Just it's a big step up from what we had. And so far I'm happy to like see them building a small world around it. So heck yeah. Heck yeah. But before we dive into all that, I started collecting TVC about 18 months ago because the YouTube algorithm showed me your room tour and I was blown away and hooked. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dude, that's awesome. That is some proper algorithm. I love what it's going or what it's doing there. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you kind of stumbled into my world and then this world of like collecting and 375 Star Wars. I got to say it's definitely a lovely hobby. It'll consume your life, maybe like the dark side, but with some dark, there's some light. But awesome, man. Happy to have you here. And that's an awesome story. I could store one for you. I'll holler, man. If I run out a little bit of space, I'll let you know and be like, you know what? Can I put this on layaway with you? You can even open it and use it if you need. Man, yeah. I'm kind of curious how big those boxes are gonna be because it's supposed to be, pretty sizable, like the Ghost back there, which is, not a small vehicle. It came in a pretty large box. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I mean, I got 3 Ghosts, so like that was already enough boxes to deal with. Not to mention, like, you don't even have to go to the gym to get a workout lifting that Ghost box. That thing was hefty. What up, Greedo Speedo? Awesome name. Love it. Love the Kenner Greedo. Great. I always just love those colors on that Kenner Greedo. So appreciate that. Blitz Transmissions, what's up? Ayo, someone say gunship. I think we did, man. I think we're here to talk about, some clones, a little bit of Battle Geonosis, gunships, everything that a lot of us are really into. Heck yeah, man. Happy to have you here, dude. If for some reason you're here and you don't know Blitz Transmissions, he's got a great channel. Go check him out. Awesome reviews. Also has been recently doing a fan poll to see what are some of the army builders you would like to see, like in 375 and the vintage collection. Mine was pretty heavy in the clones and Clone Wars picks because those are something that I'm very passionate about, and I want to see more of those in TVC. But yeah, did a really good fan poll called Galactic Conquest. It's over now, but there'll be some more events going on in terms of like community like activities or whatever. But yeah, check him out, man. Great dude. Heck yeah. Shartimus Prime, what's up? Amazing. Amazing. Good evening. Good evening there, Saki Score 76. What else do we got here? Hey guys, great to be on tonight. Awesome. I'm happy that you guys could like tune into like right before the holiday and stuff. I wasn't sure if everyone would be like kind of already on the road or whatever, but yeah, I figured what the heck. It was a good time to kind of just get back into live streams and stuff like that. Like I said, peak. Yeah, it's gonna be great for people who are like, clone fanatics and stuff like that. Voting for Galactic Conquest starts next week. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so I know submissions of like personal lists and stuff like that to build the data for the actual conquest are over. But yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the event, definitely keep an eye out. But yeah, cool. Before we jump into the Battle Geonosis stuff, I did want to give a shout out. I don't know if this channel member's here, but Denal Hunter 7137. Great dude, always in the comments. Always appreciate your support on videos. He recently became a channel member. And I cannot thank you enough. Any little bit of support is always greatly appreciated. It is yeah, I can't say enough. Thank you. Like I put a lot of time, passion, attention to detail when it comes to like the videos, my photos, just everything. So any little bit of like praise or support, even just like comments, dude, like it all means a lot. And like all I'm here to do is continue to enjoy this hobby, love Star Wars, and help spark any kind of, passion and creativity in your own world too. So really appreciate it, man. Whether you see it now or you see it on the playback. But yeah, I guess while we're here and about to dive into it, let's go. Let's talk some Battle Geonosis, man. So let me pull that up. All right. So we are here because we are to talk about the Battle of Geonosis. You may be familiar with it, Attack of the Clones. It is when, in my opinion, a lot of really significant army building in 375 collecting really kind of kicked off. Like as a kid, I always wanted tons of stormtroopers, like I grew up inheriting Kenner stuff. And then later I had my own Power of the Force 2 stuff. And like, of course, I didn't have money to go out and buy like, 100 stormtroopers or whatever. But the idea of recreating like, the Return of the Jedi, like Emperor's Arrival scene always was like kind of cool. Seeing all the stormtroopers on, Endor, or even like, the Hoth battles, all those snowtroopers. Like I always kind of wanted, more than just like one or two or whatever I had. But then, as time goes on, Attack of the Clones happens, and it's just like a full out epic battle, like on a larger scale than, the Battle of Endor. And that was something that also was like pretty crazy to see for the first time in terms of like Star Wars. I mean, I guess we saw it with like the Naboo battle and stuff like that, but seeing like something that was closer to like a stormtrooper and just like, I don't know, it was really quite fascinating as a kid. And then of course, the toy line came out. And again, I didn't have a ton of, the troopers and stuff like that, but I feel like the world building when it comes to army building was really starting to kick off too. And there was just so much stuff from that Attack of the Clones line going all the way into like 30th anniversary collection stuff or like the Clone Wars line. And just like, I don't know, 375 army building really became, I don't know, quite an amazing thing to like be there and like witness. So now we're going back to the Battle Geonosis in the current stage. So all of this is coming from the HasLab gunship, which we were able to successfully back and fund last year around this time or whatever. And yeah, I gotta say, I'm loving to see all these like promotional images that they're starting to do with like the more finalized prototypes and stuff. And this image right here is just like, it speaks to me. And I saw it just like landing in to recreate that arena scene, but it's more like I'm getting so excited to prep my shelf and like think about ways that I want to display these things and just like the nice world of figures we're going to get to build out and display around this thing. Definitely exciting. I imagine a lot of you are also equally as excited to do that. And yeah, this image alone, spectacular stuff. And like I was saying, like 375 is really the scale when it comes to having proper armies. You can have, 8 to like 50 of these troops in a nice, manageable size of like shelf display and have it like shown off. You can try to do that with like the larger 6-inch scale, but it's really just not as feasible. Those figures are a little bit larger and they're going to take up more space. Whereas like, TVC and 375 really allow you to do this. And that's why I feel like, especially with the Battle of Geonosis, it's made to display. Like alone, you can just have, 20 or like even 10 of these clone troopers and your gunship, and it's going to look like intimidating, like a good battle. So yeah, really, really, really looking forward to what we got going on. And then the support. So ever since the gunship has been backed, we've seen some pretty decent support, including like the characters that were included with it. So of course, naturally, we first have the gunship there, and then moving left to right, we have the pilots, which were included with the base offering. Then we were luckily able to unlock Coleman Trevor at the end. Shout out to Stacey Tin and Aegon Kolar, who we could not unlock, but hopefully we can make enough noise that Hasbro understands that like we're not gonna be entirely happy until we get those characters like in the main line or as a fan channel or something like that. We definitely need them, but like, we have to complete the arena scene with those characters. And then moving on, we have kind of like the first support that we've seen. So Pago the Lesser, who came out in a fan channel wave earlier this year, I believe. Amazing figure. And we're going to take a closer look at each one of these. But yeah, Poggle, phenomenal. And I feel like it's just getting better and better. So like Padme, exceptional. Then we have Shakti, amazing. Then we have the Ori and the cart with the Picador Geonosian, amazing. Then we have the Army Builder 4-pack of Geonosians, Plo Koon, the Clone Trooper Commander, the all-white shinies, and the 4-trooper or the Clone Trooper for Army Builder 4-pack that we recently got and pre-ordered. And then we have a Army Builder of B1 and B2 battle droids. So far, if you take a look at this is not too bad considering it was only about a year ago that we kind of like fully got this thing backed. And I think there's going to be more on the way. And yeah, so far, a pretty decent checklist, if I do say so myself. And a lot of like nice tooling and just investment and just really beautiful sculpts. I mean, moving on, of course, we have to take a look or two at the gunship itself. Like I said, I was looking back at some of these photos, putting this together, and this thing's going to be such a nice addition to the collection. It's a huge step up from the previous ones. They were lovely for the time, but the more and more I look at this, the more and more I look at those, and they're very toyetic, just it's not the same as having this, which is like kind of like a studio display piece. This could legit been a prop they use for like a visual effect or something like that. And that's something that's fantastic about the current day vintage collection line. We're getting really premium stuff, and I cannot be happy enough with some of the newer like vehicles and just things that they are delivering to us. But yeah, so it came with, a number of things like a clear display stand. It's got this other display stand that allows you to have like kind of the hovering landing effect. Got the 2 pilots, workable cockpit, all sorts of like nice detail, scuffing. You're going to be able to put a number of troopers in the back. They fit properly. Everything's like in decent, very proper scale, unlike the other one. And yeah, working ball turrets, the whole deal. Everything that you want when it comes to this ship. And I just love this back image here too, with just like that teal paint color and the patina on the like back thrusters and everything, the weathering, the dirt. Oh yeah, this is just going to be such a good addition to my collection. And for everybody else who backed one of these or is going to be able to pick one up on the secondary market or whatever it may be. And then we have, the pilots, which is wonderful. I do think these deserve their own separate release away from, like the gunship itself. I also one day want to see like the phase 2 pilots. I think that would be really, really important to see as well. Some of the Clone Wars, characters and stuff like that. But and then like I mentioned, we have Coleman Trabar. Happy to have him. Really excited, especially because his tooling was very unique in terms of like Jedi tooling, because he's kind of just this big green dinosaur with big, like Ronald McDonald feet. So it's not like you can use that tooling for anyone else. So if we had to unlock one out of all of those, I'm happy we were able to get him. But yeah, moving on, Pago the Lesser. Really good support here. Again, this was not anything I ever thought they were actually gonna do, just because we have a Poggle the Lesser from, like, way back in, like, Saga Collection or whatever the heck that thing came out in, and he's decent, you know? Poggle also doesn't do much other than, walk with his cane, make some click clack sounds, and, just be a Geonosian leader. But the fact that they went back and thought about this in a very smart way of, hey, they're going to need some Geonosians for, this big scene that we're trying to build out. So we need some Geonosian tooling, some proper Geonosian tooling. And taking that opportunity to get us like Poggle and the others was just like brilliant, in my opinion. And yeah, again, this is such a heavy contender for figure of the year, believe it or not, just because he's sculpted so well. His articulation's phenomenal, just with that anatomy. Everything about Poggle's just badass. I love Poggle. It's so good. So a really good way to start off like the support so far for like Battle of Geonosis. And then it just kept getting better. Like Padme. Oh man. I think this is still to date my favorite portrait they've ever done of a character in the 375 line. Her likeness to Natalie Portman is just spot on. It is so incredibly good. The beauty mark, just everything, they just nailed it. She looks great from all angles. It's not like sometimes when you're like, oh, I look at Luke from the side and he looks okay, but front on, he looks a little bit off. Not hearing it here. Everything is perfect about this character. The tooling is all brand new, which is wonderful and a nice wake up call to people who ever thought that horrible 3.75-inch Black Series one was good enough with the swivel hips and terrible likeness. So, no, this is what we want to see. Proper, updated, modern versions of core characters like this. Again, I'm never really a fan of like soft plastic capes, but this one was like sculpted well. It's a nice, pliable plastic. Everything just works. There's no hindrance to the articulation. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. The only thing I will hope they still have in mind is to give us the version with like the ripped shirt and scratch marks on the back, her more arena look. I would imagine it's coming. But yeah, gotta love Padme. She was done so incredibly well. So big shout out to like the design team, the sculptors. They really nailed this one. Worthy of recognition in the orders of the TVC Jedi Archive for sure. Yeah, man. And then Shakti. Oh, I can't even talk enough good things about Shakti. I actually bought another one recently because they're still kind of like at my Target. And I just wanted another one straight up for photos. I already have two on display, but I just want to have one ready and available that I can always kind of like pick out and just like put to the test with a camera. I still haven't taken a photo of her yet. So that was a big push for me to do that. But yeah, Shakti has been sculpted so well. Soft goods, the robe, even the soft plastic tabards with the nice detail on them. Articulation is boss. She does have hinges at the wrist, but that's a little bit of a problem when it comes to 375 and like smaller wrist characters. Really hope they can try to see if there's some kind of thing they can do in the future. But for now, I'm okay because as you can see, she poses still quite well. Reviewed this figure, loved posing it. Definitely check that out if you haven't. But yeah, Shakti is another solid win for TVC and like updating like the Battle of Geonosis arena scene. And then we have the Ori and Cart. Really, really good. I know this is one that people wanted for a number of years, so it's great that they finally gave it to us. But what I think is even more important here is that not only are we world building with a vehicle and characters and army builders, but a beast too, because the arena scene has it all. It has all of that stuff. So you kind of need to check it off. And while we have, like the Akli, the Reek, and the Nexu from back in the day, they hold up pretty well. I do think the Reek itself is a little bit dated. The sculpt is nice, but like the articulation stuff is just eh. And then the Nexu could probably use an update. I feel like that one's a little bit more feasible because it's smaller, and given what they've done with this creature here, and also like the Massive and stuff, I could see them doing a Nexu, and I'd be pretty hyped on that. But yeah, Ori is great. I love all the like paint applications that you see on it. It's got some really nice looking texture. I know it's a little bit on the smaller size, but honestly, when I was just watching Attack of the Clones right now, it's not far off. Yeah, they're not huge creatures, so I don't know. I'm okay with it. The cart looks great too. And then this is what I've also been loving about this mini beat or whatever you want to call it, is I love seeing the toy photography. I love seeing them build this world and create that feeling and vibe. Because one thing about Star Wars, and especially collecting, is they're really a feeling. You get this feeling of being in that world. You get a feeling of remembering the first time you saw this movie or a special time that you saw this movie and what all these different films mean to every one of us. And just being able to recreate this and see it or have the ability to recreate this yourself in your own creative way. That's like everything that I love about collecting and just Star Wars in general. So I just really appreciate them using vintage collection as a very proper tool to do that because it allows you to. It's small enough to build manageable displays and do dioramas like this and take wonderful shots of these moments that we remember. And yeah, so moving on, the Picador, also great. Love that they didn't just like stick a Geonosian warrior in here. He's got, his specific like armor and stuff like that, and two different versions, as you can see here. It's got the staff, and yeah, really, they were putting a lot of thought into like how to maximize the tooling when it comes to just the Battle of Geonosis. And yeah, once again, going back to the feeling, like this alone, I love this shot. As soon as I saw the shot like posted on their socials and stuff like that, you can just hear the orchestra come in and just like that Attack of the Clones music. And it's just yeah, it's really, really lovely. So and one more thing to point out here is Anakin. I without a doubt don't we're gonna see an Anakin. I mean, given that we got that micro Clone Wars release recently, the San Diego Comic-Con one that's coming, it's a no-brainer. So love to see that. It's just a little hint that we're probably going to be getting a proper update to our Attack of the Clones Anakin as well. And yeah, just looks good on card and all that jazz, man. But let's take a little break real quick since we dove through quite a bit of the support and before we get to like the reveals that were recently and see what some of you guys are saying. So let's go back up here and see what's going on. Got some more people in the chat too. My man, Scott9, what up? Glad to see you here, dude. 30th anniversary is one of the best lines ever, in my opinion. Yeah, it really had a lot of stuff. I just remember going to Target quite a bit, picking up like figures here and there. I didn't get every single thing, but yeah, there was so much like good stuff when it came to 30th anniversary. Um, can't disagree with you on that. I've always liked the idea of having an army of aliens together, and I'm glad we'll get to do that now. Yeah, yeah. We get to army build the Geonosians, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. 30th, people loved it. The only thing I didn't love about 30th is getting all those figure stands because I don't like figure stands, but then you have them, and I'm like, do I throw this away? Do I put it in a baggie, which just takes up space, which is a never-ending battle? That's my biggest problem with 30th anniversary collection. Like those were cute and all, but it's just like extra stuff that gives me anxiety. Got my 108 P1s on order. Dude, maniac. Absolute maniac. Props to you though. That's some serious army building. I have only gotten 4 sets so far. I'm gonna double that for sure. But yeah, good job, man. I'm proud of you. I definitely want more. I'm just like trying to, not be too irresponsible and manage life and all these other things that I'm pre-ordering and whatnot. But I appreciate your dedication to the clones, man. Dang, How Runner, you didn't get any? What's up with that? Like, why didn't you get any? Are you gonna get some? Curious. I'm trying to build an army of 375 red blades. Need 4 more to finish. Okay, okay. Love some red blades, Awesome. Are you talking about my graphic or the Hasbro ones? Because I appreciate it, but yeah, Hasbro's been knocking it out, man. Been knocking it out. Riley Bob, what's up, man? Member for 13 months. Let's go. Always appreciate you, Riley Bob. Appreciate your support with the channel. Appreciate you being in the community, man. He's always supporting everyone when it comes to collecting and the vintage collection. Just all around great dude, man. Really appreciate you. Having the lat gonna be a blast. True that. True that. I mean, how you living life without a lat? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Heck yeah, member for 19 months, How Runner. Let's go. That's what's up. Greedo Speedo became a YouTube member. Awesome, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Right on. Right on. Hello there. Hoping for some TVC reveals coming heavy at San Diego Comic Con since TBS has been getting reveals dumped on them left and right lately. Yeah, I didn't really like prepare any of that kind of like imagery, but yeah, I've definitely been a little bit bummed. Sometimes it's just like okay, so even before we dive into the reveals real quick. Going back to the I Am Your Father's Day event, as many of us know, TBS got some reveals on that day, and everyone in the TVC community is like, "What the heck? Are we getting anything? Like, what's the deal?" And I got to say that, like, while I appreciate Hasbro giving us a reveal, a day or two later, that was wonderful. They need to also recognize that we live in a day and age where everything is very reactionary. So if people are feeling left out, well, unfortunately, we're going to get in our feelings. That's just how it is, man. So rather than causing several heart attacks, Hasbro, even if it doesn't align with your Father's Day type thing, just do the TVC reveal too. It'll save people a lot of grief. It'll stop fires and animosity between the scales. And it's like at the end of the day, we're all here just trying to collect what we like and enjoy Star Wars, right? So it's like, don't do that to us. Don't do that to either side. Just announce all the things on the same day, man. Like, make it as easy as possible on everyone. But yeah, going back to this, yeah, I'm hoping for a bit more. I feel like we're gonna see some more Battle of Geonosis stuff. Hopefully, it seems like Steve has been kind of hinting about like taking a lot of the figures to display there. I'm sure the gunship will be on display as well. So that's why I'm also hoping like to see a couple more things when it comes to this, even if it's simple stuff like the Anakin, like I was talking about. A lot of the toolings there now that we have that Revenge of the Sith, Ahsoka flashback Anakin. So get us that Attack of the Clones version. Even going back to Padme with the ripped shirt, I'd be happy to see that. Just continue to like chip away at this Battle of Geonosis like mini beat. But yeah, there's tons that I still want to see. And that's what we're here to talk about. That's what we're here to talk about. I know. Shout out to my dinosaur. He thought he could tango with Django, but he was wrong. My man got served because I just rewatched that, like I was saying, and man, he tried. He got pretty close to Dooku, but my man got dusted off that balcony. Poggle is great. I agree. I agree. Anyone want to trade Mint Inside Box Saga Collection Geonosis Battle Arena for a Cantina? Whoa. There might be somebody who's into that. I actually don't have that battle arena, and I've kind of thought about getting one, but I also was like, it'd probably be easier for me to just make something that would like fit appropriately on a shelf. And as many of you know, I'm not afraid of making things when it comes to dioramas and all that stuff. Poggle is known for making Johnny Mush sounds on Geonosis. That is true facts. That is true facts. Yeah, Poggle imitating my man John. Battlescar Padme would be great. Yep. Yep. The more I'm watching, like rewatching Attack of the Clones and stuff, I really need that. Be cool to get her with a Nexu. Gotta say, I wouldn't mind an updated Nexu. What's up, Bjorn? Shmy book. What I missed? Not much, man. We did like a little bit of an intro. I kind of went over a couple things so far that have been like released or announced for Battle Geonosis, and we're gonna go through a couple more things, but you're pretty much relatively still on time, man. Fashionably late. Shock T. Shock T. I would love a re-release or update of the Arena Beasts made to order. Yeah, so okay. I think this is a good time to talk about that. I would not mind that either. So like I was saying, the Reek kind of crude when it comes to its articulation. It's also got the play feature where it's like head can kind of bobble, but it's really like pretty far separated from its actual like I don't know, shoulders or whatever. It just looks odd. The sculpt itself is like nice, but like it's kind of a crude toy at this point. The Nexus is not bad, but it's also very limited because it's kind of like that back to Attack of the Clones line where things are like kind of action posed. Even though it has articulation, it's also still like in a forward like cat like pounce kind of stance. So I think the Nexus would be a really smart one for them to start off with. I think the Reek would be great to do next. The Acklay. The one we have is pretty decent. It's not my favorite just because some of the legs are just like odd the way they chose to not fully articulate it. But yeah, I'm not sure. That one I feel like would be a big project for them. Um, but I wouldn't be against it. I really wouldn't. And I know those are always ones that people want to get into their collections, and they're still pretty expensive on like secondary and like toy shows and stuff like that. I think you shared a picture, didn't you? Pick one up recently at ICC Con. You got the like whole set, right? But yeah, I do think made to order for those would not be a bad idea. Not made to order. Never mind. How runners against it? How runners against it? More TVC creatures indeed. I mean, even as we were saying that, I'm thinking about like creatures that we need. So like Reek or Mudhorn, which one do I want? Kind of like both, but like I don't know. We don't have any Mudhorn. Like I do have a Reek. And I never liked to play that game, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, there's just so many beasts. Like I love to see the Maldo Kree spiders, but like a larger version. And then I think about the Acklai, and I'm like, which one would I want? I want both. Make them both, Hasbro. We'll buy them if you make them both. I'll take any new aliens. I know you will. You're gonna pop them and like make them into customs and see what you can do with them, man. Always experimenting with the customs. I think the Battle of Geonosis is in desperate need of more Jedi. Yes, cannot disagree more. Here's hoping for a new Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kit Fisto, and maybe a new dynamic mace. I'd accept a new Obi-Wan if it gets us closer to episode 1. We're going to talk all about that, man, and I cannot agree more with you, especially with Ki-Adi-Mundi and especially Mace Windu. I've been wanting a proper Ki-Adi-Mundi for a while, and we're going to talk about Mace in a bit, too. I've been on a 30th anniversary kick lately. Awesome. Going back and getting those, man. There's some good ones. There's still some good ones to pick up. Peak Obi-Wan, what's up there? Hello there. Good to see you around, man. Good to see you. Did it? I could have swore some of them came with like the stands, but maybe I'm just remembering wrong. I don't know. I could have swore it came with some stands. I know it came with the coins, and don't even get me started with the coins. Those I kept because I almost feel bad throwing those away because they're like feel like a precious metal or something. I don't know, unless somebody wants all my coins because I could part with them. I just don't want to throw them away. To be fair, I'm good not getting Halloween figs. Yeah, I feel that too, man. I feel that. But KOTOR, I'll take the KOTOR figs. Screw that Halloween stuff, though. Don't need any of that. At least some TVC for me. Androids retro cards. Yeah, we had those. I got them. Could I live without them? Probably. I take a Clone War repaint over that. HasLab this year. Thoughts? My thoughts are I'm always here. I'm always down. Is my bank account? Probably not. I don't know if they're going to do one this year. I'll be curious, actually, if they do announce one or hint at one. I feel like San Diego Comic-Con could be a place to start testing that water again. I don't know. I really don't know. There's always the rumors about potentially getting a Death Star. A lot of people want to see a U-Wing. Continue with that Rogue One support. The U-Wing is also in the Mandalorian Grogu. It's in Rebels. It's all over the place. It'd be a great one to get. But in terms of them actually doing one, I don't know. It's hard to say. I know even with like the HasLab gunship, it was tough just because, as many of you guys might know, everything in the world is getting more and more expensive, whether it's for better or worse or whatever it may be. But it's tough. It's tough. I mean, eggs are not what they used to cost back in the day, and neither is a TVC figure. And sometimes that can really affect people's collecting or willingness to back stuff. And currently, with like gas prices and stuff like that, I don't know. It could be hard for them to even think about shipping another HasLab in the projected future. So I don't know. I think there might be some hesitation there as well, and just making sure they don't jump out the gate too early, because sometimes that can happen. I feel like the gunship, we didn't see a lot of like promotional imagery, like the same stuff I was just giving them praise for while it was happening. And that was something that a lot of people wanted to see. We want to see it in action. Let's see what it looks like with a bunch of clones around it. It's like really create that feeling and get people excited. So I don't know. I think there's things in terms of like them wanting to be 100% planned with it, but I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see at San Diego Comic-Con because that would be the place to announce one. I recently picked up a couple Rebel Honor Guards, Biggs from Deleted Scene, Luke with the Moisture Evaporator, and Lando from the end of ESB. Nice. All those are solid. I could use some more of those Rebel Honor Guards. It's a good figure. I want unknown TVC Battle of Geonosis Jedi. And I was thinking about that, dude. I was thinking about that. I really want them to do an army builder 4-pack of just random Jedi. I think that would be awesome. I think it would be great for this Battle of Geonosis. You're working on any customs? Man, I got a huge stack of stuff over here that I've had on the last like 6 streams that I have not gotten to. And I need to find time to sit down and work on stuff. But such is everything in my collecting world. Yeah, I just need some time. But I do have some neat stuff over there that I need to like finish boiling, popping, and paint up. I need to see more new over redo. I agree. I agree. We're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about that. TVC Halloween figs. Fuck the. You know, I think he might have some love, but he also might, be messing with you a little bit. But all right, guys, let's get back to it real quick. So, all right, Orion Cart, love it. Then we recently had Plo Koon announced. Really happy about this one. I know people were a little bit upset when it comes to the cloak or the robes and whatever. But again, sometimes Hasbro's team is not like the most efficient or great when it comes to the promotional images and posing the figures. So again, I'll never judge any of this stuff until I actually have it in hand and pose it and show you guys its full potential and just what it can do. So I do think, Plo looks pretty good here, and I think he'll look even better once I have him in hand personally. Regardless, I'm happy to get a freaking proper Plo Koon into my collection. Like that Legacy Collection one I have is pretty good, but this one will be fully articulated. Head sculpt looks nice, and yeah, I just need this character for my Battle in Geonosis. So happy to be getting him. But yeah, like this is what I'm talking about. I don't know what's up with this pose. Not to like throw too much shade, but like, what is this? He looks a little odd here. You just got to drape stuff the right way, man. Just envision it. Envision yourself and how you would do this pose, and then try to mimic that. But yeah, moving on. We also got the clone commander. Great. Love it. Looks good. They fixed the missing stripe going down his fin to his visor, that missing yellow paint. So we're going to get that. Wonderful. Looking forward to it. I do want them to continue out with the rest of the officers like we got previously on that terrible VC45 skinny mold. We need to see the lieutenant. We need to see the sergeant. Need them all colors. Please, Hasbro, do it. Just knock it out somehow. I don't know how, but these are looking good, and I'm hyped for it. Very hyped. Because we have this amazing clone sculpt. Look at it. Proportions, proper. Immaculate. Helmet, nice sculpted, hard plastic. Love it. I think the only thing would be nice here is maybe a clone portrait, but then again, they weren't taking off their helmets too much in Attack of the Clones. So in this instance, I can be okay with it. But then we have the good old Geonosis Army Builder 4-pack of Warriors. Again, wasn't really expecting this, but so happy. And I love that they're not all the same. Like there's some variety in here. The new tooling, all that stuff. Yeah, man, looks so good. I think the only thing I would have really loved to see is a little flight stand that maybe attaches to it, similar to the Black Series version. I think that would have been a very nice gesture on Hasbro's part. I don't know if they want to release this as a single carded thing, maybe pack something in like that. But I feel like this Army Builder 4-pack box was the place that you should have done that. But who knows what the future holds? But regardless, I think these guys look great. Their Sonic Blasters look awesome. And yeah, again, really cool to actually get some Geonosins that can actually stand, because Poggle is phenomenal and his articulation off the charts. And that old Sun Fac figure that we had was garbage. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's still over there on the floor. Like it kind of like fell down on my display or whatever. Ugh, I want to toss that guy. He is really frustrating. I hate his legs. But these, so good. So good. And, before we move on, big shout out to Sarah Reynolds, because she's a sculptor, works with Hasbro. She's done some amazing figures like the Clone Wars Mandalore Maul, which we later saw as Maul Shadow Lord. She did this character. She's done a number of other ones, and her sculpting is just always top notch. and the articulation. I really appreciate her work. If you don't know her, go follow her on social media. Got some of her sculpts and stuff on there. Just a great artist in general. And then we have the recent reveals of the Phase 1 Clone Troopers in an Army Builder 4-pack, which our buddy Blitz Transmissions, Tommy, decided to buy the entire stock from Hasbro, apparently, of 108 troopers. But I kid. Dude, happy to get this and happy to get it with that proper sculpted helmet. We'll get to it in a minute, but there was originally a carded release on an Attack of the Clones card a couple years back, and it was good. It was a nice update because we had the proper new clone. They did give it a slip-on helmet, which wasn't bad, but when paired with the actual clone portrait, you could always see like the chin poking out from the bottom, and that just looked bad. I personally actually popped all the heads off and then filled that swappable helmet with like tack and then put it on the barbell, so I didn't have to see that stupid chin popping out anymore. But course correct here, and now we're getting a proper helmet and the ability to just army build them and army build straight grunts, because this is what you want, especially for the battle Geonosis. You want tons of these shiny whites, no commanders. You know, like if there was one commander in here and then I bought like 10 of these sets, I would have 10 commanders. I don't need that. I need 10 like clean whites. So yeah, could not be happier with this. Really smart. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to try and pick up a couple more sets because this is now the time to do it. These Army Builder 4-packs are still less expensive than getting a single carded release, which is, pretty much $20. These fall into that $17 range. So you're saving $3 here when you're buying 108 of these. Apparently that adds up. So yeah. Are you guys hyped for these? Howl Runner, for some reason, says he's not getting any of these. What's up, man? I don't know how you can want some clones, but yeah. I think this was a smart move for Battle Geonosis and a no-brainer. I think a lot of us knew this was coming, so this is proper support here because those gunships need to get filled up with some troopers. So lovely shot here. Love it. This is what it's all about. I love there's a ramp that these guys can come down and stuff like that. And actually, I kind of want to zoom in on this one real quick because I actually noticed this when I was, setting up this presentation. So they note down here that shown, not final product, fantasy scene depicted. Okay. And I was always kind of like, this looks a little off because this is definitely a prototype helmet or something like that, where it looks like they hit it with like paint to make it white. And if I had to guess and do some detective work here, I feel like this is probably the Ahsoka flashback clone, the basically Phase 1 501st Trooper, because that was the only Phase 1 clone trooper that we had with a hard plastic swappable helmet. So they probably had to get rid of the blue stripe. Because of that, it's going to look like an off-white compared to the other white. So they probably just painted this all white with a brush and then like kind of continued it down here, got rid of the stripe and all that. And that's why it's a slightly different off-white compared to the molded plastic bright white. So I was like, that makes sense. And then this, they probably swapped in a different clone trooper's hands. So it didn't have the blue on like the palm armor or whatever. And yeah, I was like, okay, interesting. That all makes sense now. But then when I look at the back, they're not all that same trooper, because this right here is one of those VC-45s. And you can tell because look at his like skinny legs. And I was like, oh man, that was a good trick of the eye, Hasbro. That's one of those terrible VC-45 molds back there, because that is much different than this, which is nice and properly proportioned. So pretty funny. But yeah, that was just kind of like a realization that I had. I'm not mad at you, Hasbro. I'm not mad at you. Sometimes you got to make it work for, what you got going on. But yeah, regardless, this is great stuff here. Love seeing like a gunship full of some clones and just creating that vibe and that energy. And again, like I said with this, spectacular shot, spectacular. Although fake fan, because there should be a Venator up there, because I just watched Attack of the Clones and in this scene you see, some stuff coming. But I digress. Anywho, yeah, love it. Looks good. And then we have our other recent reveal of Super Battle Droid and Battle Droid. So getting the B1 and the B2, and finally getting B1s in that nice terracotta color that we saw on Geonosis. It's been a while since we've seen these. I think actually the last time was in that weird Legacy Collection like build-up pack where it came like single carded. We got the Builder Droid to make the Protocol Droid from Clone Wars from Jabba's Palace. And yeah, other than that, I think like 30th anniversary collection or maybe legacy. So it's been a while. But more importantly, and let's zoom in here real quick because you see it best, I think, in this photo, is that they did some updated tooling. Thank goodness for these B1 Battle Droid arms. So they always had issues when it came to that two-handed grip, and it was the most incredibly frustrating thing in the world because they had these gummy arms. They couldn't really do a two-handed grip of the rifle. And it's like, that's one of their base functions. I mean, their other base function was freaking standing in your collection, which they had skinny, gummy legs, which were just terrible. Let's go back to that real quick. Scroll back up. They fixed that on like the last, gosh darn it. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Oh, no. We got a problem here. Pull up. Boom. A little A New Hope. All right. So let me scroll out of here or zoom out of here. All right, the legs. They fixed those on the last Army Builder 4-pack release of B1 Battle Droids, which were in the standard like light tan color. And now we have these nice, better articulated legs. They have a swivel there at the knee joint that can actually like rotate 360 degrees. And then they have the forward hinge as well. They're also just bulked up and beefier. And honestly, the ones I have posed ever since I did my review of them have not fallen over anything. I've had no issues with these. Love it. They also have rocker ankles, so they are good from the waist down. And, you know, the midsection's okay, not bad. I wouldn't have been opposed if they add a little bit of a torso bend there, like they kind of have in the larger Black Series version. But for me, the biggest thing was the dang arms, which sucked. But it looks like they have done some nice course correcting here. Oh, no. Bear with me one second, guys. Having a lot of problems here. A lot of problems here. Just accidentally completely got rid of the presentation thing. Hold on. I promise I'm a professional when it comes to this. I don't even know where it went. What the heck? Bear with me for a second, guys. Just had to hit the X key, didn't I? Bear with me. Because now I got to find out where the heck it went. Okay. I think I found it. I think we're back. Make sure this is it. This is not the one I want. And we're back. All right. Well, that was fun. Apparently, if you hit Command Q in StreamYard while you have your PDF up, it'll just throw it in your recycling bin for some reason. So that was cool. Let's go back to where we were. Okay. All right, we're back. Got to scroll a little bit, though. Apologies for jumping through light speed here. If you're just joining us, this is all the stuff we looked at. Back to the battle droid. All right, let's zoom in and not delete stuff. All right, so the arm, it was always a problem, but they added a nice hinge here. So now it can like kind of like go side to side and like hold the blaster. It looks like a really good improvement. Also, like I said, the arms look a little beefier, which is nice. You can also see that the like kind of, it's like a swivel and also like a peg hinge here. It's got a little bit more flex to it. So it can like kind of like go inward to like his torso a bit, which is really nice. In my review of the reveal or whatever, the only thing I would have appreciated was also another like peg hinge here that they have on the Black Series one, which allows it to rotate a little bit more, like 360 degrees. I think that little bit of angle would have been like nice and beneficial, but I think at the smaller scale, it's always a little bit of a problem, especially with this sleek, thin design of like, you know, the battle droids. But again, if they wanted to make it a little bit beefier than it even was to make that work, I would have been okay with it. But regardless, these look a lot better. At least they can actually hold the blaster properly and stand. That's their two base functions. So really good. I think the only other thing I would have liked to see is a peg in the backpack so he can store his rifle. That is very B1 battle droid. And for some reason, Hasbro keeps missing that detail. That backpack is definitely thick enough to add a peg hole for that blaster. But yeah, still really excited for this battle droid. It looks like a really good update. And then we have this awesome B2 Super Battle Droid, which is just so good. I have so many of those Legacy Collection ones because it's pretty decent, and I needed them for various displays and stuff like that. But this looks So good, man. Yeah, the proportions look nice. It's got updated articulation. Some of those legacy collection ones weren't that great either, just because like the plastic on them would bend a little bit and stuff. But man, this looks great. I also just love the plastic that they used or the paint application. It's just got a nice sheen to that metal. Um, yeah, it's just looking like a super battle droid to me, which I love, love, love. The inclusion of the accessories here. Uh, Also great. This is a nice army builder 4-pack. I think it's the one that's gotten the most accessories to date. Like, look at all that stuff you're getting in there. We saw some of this with like the Mandalorian and Grogu mercenary version, but you're also getting that cannon, which we saw a lot in some of the older releases back in the day from Hasbro, which is really cool. So I'm sure you'll be able to just pop this out of the arm socket, plug that in. That's great. Also, getting this blast effect is just going to be fun for people who want to set up a nice display in their collection around this gunship and stuff. And yeah, he just looks really good. He's got rocker ankles. He's got articulation of the knees. Looks like he's got a little bit of a barbell thing going on there for a droid, which is great. And yeah, overall, he's just articulated quite nicely. And then looking at the battle droids again, they look nice. You're getting 3 of them there. And that's the other thing is like, while we like these Army Builder 4-packs to be kind of like straight grunts, this is a straight grunt pack. And it's a little off because you're getting 1 super battle droid in here, but I'm not too mad about that. Um, the only thing I'm mad about is maybe my OCD, but I like to build my armies in even numbers. So me personally, I would have preferred 2 and 2 in here as opposed to 1 and 3, but that's just my own nitpick. Somehow I'll make this work because you get enough of these. It totals up to 6 and 2 and whatever. But yeah, I love this set. I think it's great. I think those reveals the other day were really strong stuff. And again, going back to what I was saying, if they would have revealed this on that Father's Day event, a lot of people would have been less hostile when Black Series gets, 2 reveals or whatever they got that day. Whereas then we had to wait a day or so to see this, and everybody was happy because cool, we're getting stuff. Great. Come on, Hasbro. Just think there. You don't want to you never want to pour gas onto fires unless you're having fun, which I've done in the past when I was a younger kid with my best friend growing up when we were playing with action figures in a sandbox. And I got to tell you, it's still not a good idea because he did suffer a bit of a burn wound, if you will. But I digress. Let's see what you guys are saying. Heck yeah, sci-fi dude. We definitely do need a droid to Ka. I really do think that's a very much needed update in the 375 line. We do have them, but I want to see a better one. Was so excited for a no Plo, followed by disappointment when it came to the Mandela effect of the lower tabards. But if this is my step to the Clone Wars armor Plo, all the better. Yeah, I feel that. It could have been better. It could have been better with those lower tabards. I know a lot of people are like, you don't really see much under that robe and whatever. But again, there's characters that we don't see much under the robes, and then they do nicely tooled new legs and stuff like that. So I don't know. Sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles a little smarter, in my opinion. So I think the tabards at minimum would have been nice to see, even if they were accurate or not accurate or whatever the heck. But I'm here with you, man. I do want to see a Clone Wars armor Plo and a lot of those other Jedi. I want to see a good focus of Clone Wars stuff, especially as we move closer to a Clone Wars anniversary coming up in the near future, So yeah, totally agree there. Totally agree. Now we just need another redo of B1 droid pack from episode 1 in the light tan. Yeah, I agree. I feel like they will probably do that one as a carded release if I had to guess, because we got the like 9 like leader in that pack, and I don't know. Like, it had its chance. It's still available on Pulse. It didn't like sell out or anything. I think because a lot of people were like kind of happy with it and also not happy with it because it's like, we've told you multiple times, Hasbro, don't half step us. Like, do the legs and the arms at the same time. Don't like trickle out this like little update here and a little update there. Like with the Scout Trooper. I'm so sick of the Scout Trooper getting like small steps forward. Just redo the thing proper and give us one release. But yeah, as far as this goes, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they just did an Army Builder 4-pack of these in the nice tan color either. but who knows? Not sure what their plan is with that. I know one thing. I hope they plan to do that and also update some of those episode 1 Jedi because they look rough sometimes. The B2 has to be coming single packed, right? Has to be. I think so, yes. As we dive a little bit more into this presentation, it was one of the older figures I did not include because it's technically getting redone here, all new. And I do think we're going to see it on a card. It just makes sense. Stormy the Stormtrooper, what's up, man? Hello there. Nice to see you. Happy here. Cody, what's up, my man? So happy to have a new B2 in TVC. I know, right? Like I said, that Legacy Collection one was really good for the time. I have a bunch of them, but the leg articulation on this one is so much better. Like I said, I really appreciate the metal sheen that's going on. And also those accessories. Ah, so good. Absolutely amazing. Love it. Also, happy to have you here, dude. Happy to have you. Where are those droidicas? I know, man. Come on, Hasbro. Where are those droidicas? I'm worried about the grip on the B1's hands more than anything. Yeah, let's go back a little bit and take a look at that. Make it full screen. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but again, I just can't tell until I get it in hand. Like, I can't even tell if the arms are still like kind of like gummy and have a little flex to them so it can help do that two-handed grip. It's hard to say. All I know is that it does look a bit better than what we were having before. And I've, forced mine to try to do a two-handed grip or whatever. And this just looks like it's a little bit more successful. But again, I can't judge it until I actually get this thing in hand. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there, right? This is an amazing set. I'm looking forward to it. I believe they updated the Battle Droid's arms. They did. They did, Peak Obi-Wan. Yeah, so we have updated legs from the previous 4-pack, and now we have updated arms. It does have like a forward hinge on the wrist. I don't think it has like a rotating like swivel. I think that would have been nice, but I think given the mechanics and design of that like forearm, there's probably just not enough tolerance for them to fit a peg in there or something like that. But that's why I was saying it would have been nice to maybe have one of those swivels up here at the top or whatever. But I don't know. So far, it does look a lot better. So it can stand and it's a lot closer to a two-hand grip. So looking forward to getting them. But again, I will test them once I have them and see if they can actually pose quite nicely. But yeah, let's move on from the battle droids to a problem that I find we have in vintage collection. And it's usually a question I see sometimes in comments where, some people want to see updates to core characters or also want to see KOTOR figures, want to see other things, Heir to the Empire, stuff, that we have had in the past maybe. But then we're hit with this question, don't you have that already? And yes, while we may have the thing already, this is kind of like asking somebody who has a car from 1945, don't you have a car already? And it's like, my car is from 1945. It would be nice to have a 2026 model. And while the car takes me from point A to B, just like the new model, there's things about it that are much better and much more favorable and enjoyable to experience. And it is, it's got GPS in it. It's got, I don't know, probably even automatic locking doors or like a window that's not like the rotating thing. I don't even know what that's called. It's like so long ago in the past, but like just because we have it already doesn't mean it's good. And this is the prime example I wanted to show. So don't you have it already? Yeah, we have a Mace Windu from a while back, and he got a photo reel update not too long ago. But guess what? He's not good. He's not a good figure at all. And I don't want to see this displayed on a Battle Geonosis poster. I don't want to see it repacked for some reason. I don't want to see it ever again because it's got swivel hips. It's got kind of a hard plastic tabard down there, which is not great. The soft goods were re-engineered a bit better, but they're doing even better work now. So that's out. And sure, The photoreal and portrait are all right, but like he's just not a good figure. Whereas, don't you have that already? Dooku. Heck yeah, we do. He's honestly from what? Probably about 3 years now, maybe almost close to four. That's considerable amount of time. And guess what? He's equally as good as this Shakti figure because he has modern tooling and engineering. He's got barbell hips, he's got rocker ankles, he's got an exceptional portrait, photoreal, soft goods. He's got everything you need. And that's why he stands the test of time. So yeah, we have that already. And he's good. But that Blindu, no. So just because we have some characters from maybe back in the day 30th anniversary collection, some deep cuts, they're not that great. They don't hold up. They might look decent in the background, but there could be a better way of achieving some of those figures. So yeah, I don't want to ever hear this ever again. Don't you have that already? No, no, that's not good enough. I'm sorry. So like for example, don't you? We had a clone trooper. He was pretty good, and I only wanted to start off here because this is like a little bit back when we got that Dooku, and this was kind of like finally an answer to like some prequel trilogy love for the vintage collection. So we got the clone on Attack of Clones card. Love that card. It's one of my favorites. I still have a solid case of this because I got these army build, but then yeah, the helmet thing. And that's the problem is he does come with that portrait, which is fantastic. I love that. But his helmet was a slip-on plastic one. And like I said, you could see the chin and it's just not great proportions. Even there, it looks a little too big. But I wanted to include him because it was a figure that we got before and it's, on the better side. Just like Dooku. Phenomenal card. Great figure. Was a heavy hitter in March Madness and other polls. And like we just needed a proper Dooku. This also settled some of the debate where some people thought the old Legacy Collection Dooku was actually good enough. No, doesn't have great articulation. Some people would say, well, Dooku wasn't really like jumping off the walls like Yoda. Sure, but he was actually able to do stuff. It's not like he was life alert and he couldn't move. He was an old person on the ground. No, he had subtle stances that you need to achieve with proper tooling, i.e., rocker ankles, hinges, and barbell hips. Even this stance right here. And let me go back to that image. So, right here, two different Jedi spread out years from like releases or when they were tooled and designed. Very subtle poses here. They're not like in the most like, Obi-Wan hit that stance or whatever. Dooku significantly looks better just because of his articulation allows him to naturally kind of achieve that pose better with like a nice statuesque art to it. Whereas if you look at Mace right there, he looks a little odd. He kind of looks like he's trying to strike a pose, but he also has to go to the bathroom. And he also left a hanger in his Jedi tunic and he's just looking a little too stiff. And like, what's up with that left arm? It's just like sticking out and like, it just looks unnatural. It doesn't look great. So that's why Dooku stands the test of time, in my opinion. Like, even this very subtle pose of him grabbing his saber just looks good. I think the cloak could have been draped a little differently, but that's a different story. He just looks good. He looks like I literally took the actor off the screen and I have him in a small plastic form, and he's just as definitive as it gets. And that's why he is a good don't you have it already? Yes, I do. And he's phenomenal. He stands the test of time. I can see this Dooku being in my collection for another 5 years, almost 10 years, and being pretty dang great. Like, yeah. I'm sure maybe there'll be an advancement in some kind of tooling or something like that, but like he is going to stand the test of time. Then we have Django, really good as well. We had all that Mandalorian tooling, which allowed them to, do a little bit of kit bashing here and get us this deluxe Django with the fire effect. Only thing that's really unfortunate here is they didn't include the triangles on his helmet, but, maybe they can do that again when we get him on a card to release with the poncho and the other jetpack. But yeah, great figure. Love it. Awesome paint applications on the silver armor. Just really give it a nice shine to it. And yeah, this Django rocks. Really happy that we were able to get this one. And this was good support before even knowing we would have to support a gunship and Geonosis. Then we get into some characters that were actually repacked around the time when we got that Dooku. Now this is where it starts to go, "Don't you have that already?" And it's like, "Yeah, I do, but guess what? He ain't good." Like this Obi-Wan. Again, what's up with his legs there? He kinda looks like I just don't know, like, he kinda stepped in, like, some bantha poodoo, and he's, like, trying to kick it off his other foot, but really that's supposed to be a dynamic stance or something. But he's not able to achieve such a thing and actually balance like an action figure because he doesn't have rocker ankles. And then on top of it, I don't even remember. I think this one has ball jointed hips, but they're like very crude from back in the day. There's no upper thigh swivel and just it's not doing it too well. They're far worse, but yeah. Given that we just got a very nice Revenge of the Sith version, be it the hinges that run into the boots issue aside, there are far better versions now of Obi-Wan. So therefore, this needs some updating. And just like Riley Bob said, if they update this properly, they're getting 2 for 1s here because they can use some of this tooling to get us a nice Phantom Menace version, which previously the B1 Battle Droid in the Vintage Collection was the absolute worst figure in my opinion, just because it couldn't do its base function, which is freaking stand on my shelf. But they've redeemed it a bit more. So now one of the worst figures, in my opinion, in the Vintage Collection 1.0 to now is Phantom Menace to Obi-Wan because he's awful. He's got swivel hips. Likeness is garbage. That figure got to go. So yeah, this Obi-Wan redone for Attack of the Clones could help get that one as well. And we would need my friend Evan Mile High Ground here, who is a fanatic and connoisseur when it comes to Jedi tunics and all of the minor details that go into each character's tunic and how that tooling can be reused here and there. And he can start drawing a Charlie chart from Always Sunny, but we need him here. Maybe I'll get him on a future stream. We'll talk some more about that stuff, but he knows a lot more about that stuff than I do. But again, with the posing, I don't mean to insult whoever posed this for this promotional image, but what's going on here? What's going on? I don't know what he's doing. It looks like he's picking up an order at Quiznos or something like that, man. Yeah. So no, this doesn't work. Also, look at that Jedi robe. It's just kind of bagging. It just doesn't look good. And then Mace. I know I already talked about this Mace, but man, look at that pose and just look at that Mace. One, his ankles look like he got stung by a bee or something. They are swollen. They look like a bantha ankle. He's got no rocker ankles. This one has swivel hips, so there's no ball joint. He can't do any wide stances. And again, that those tabards are actually made of a little bit of a harder plastic, and it's just not a fun figure at all. This is garbage. And like, I don't want this for my Revenge of the Sith version. I don't want this for my Attack of the Clones display. I need a proper Mace Windu. And especially Mace Windu because he's one of the main characters. It's also Samuel L. Jackson. It's like, come on, man. I need a proper figure of an incredible actor who was in a Star Wars and a main character. Dude, this has got to be redone. I hope that Hasbro doesn't have any intention of thinking this is good enough to go on a Battle of Geonosis like poster like they did for Return to Tatooine, because I'm sorry, that ain't gonna work for me. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. Like, look at him. What is this? Is he pushing the button on an elevator? Why his legs look like that? And like he can't do anything with the saber. Like the photos here are just not dynamic. This looks like he's falling off like a cliff. This again, no. No, 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 no. So I really hope Hasbro can let's go back to that real quick. I really hope Hasbro can do something here when it comes to Mace Windu and get us a proper updated figure. I'm sure the tooling can be leveraged for random background Jedi, like Sci-Fi Dude was saying. You can get more bang for your investment here. And again, I'm sure there's some similarities here, but some slight differences when it comes to all the Jedi tooling. And yeah, I think they have a good opportunity to do some stuff similar to the Imperial officers when it comes to Jedis and tunics and just getting us a variety of characters. Then we move on to stuff from the original TVC 1.0 line, and there were some Attack of the Clones releases. Now, here is the first one. We're kind of going like in the order that they came out. Kit Fisto. Pretty decent figure actually for the time. It holds up decently, but given what we're seeing more and more with like Obi-Wan and Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, just like all of our Acolyte figures, which were actually some of the first newly tooled Jedi tunic figures that we got in the vintage collection, which are all a breath of fresh air and incredible action figures. Whether you hate that show or love it, those figures are so good. They're really great stuff. But yeah, Kit Fisto, he's I like he's got ball jointed hips or whatever, but they're old style, kind of like swivel hinged hips, and just they're not that great. But the one thing I want to talk about here is the card back. If they redo this character, I want them to include him with that force hand push because it's on his card. It's like one of his like scenes in Attack of the Clones that sticks out to me the most. He does that. He like pushes C3PO and then like kind of smirks a little bit. It's like kind of funny. It's just like that always stuck with me. So it's like he needs that accessory, in my opinion. But yeah, moving on to the figure itself. It's okay. There's far worse things that we have in our collections from over these many years of collecting 375 stuff, but he doesn't really stand too well. Like if we get in that new Anakin, which I think we will be, I'm really hoping they do a proper Obi-Wan too, just because like those are two mains, like significant mains. Kit Fisto wouldn't look that great standing next to them. They repacked this figure. So like at minimum, his legs have got to get redone somehow. But yeah, I mean the head sculpt, if they wanted to reuse that, it's not the worst. I think I could live with it if that helps save any penny here and penny there. But yeah, I think Kit Fisto would be a good one. And then you can repack him on a Revenge of the Sith card or even in some kind of like set, like a Jedi Arrest set or something like that. There's a bit they can do here to leverage, the investment on a proper Kit Fisto. Again, going back to what Riley Bob said, we could see him Clone Wars version with like, his armor and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully they can consider doing a Kit Fisto as well. Then we have this guy whose name is always like, what? It's like Fake Shish, which I'm just like effing Sriracha guy. But a Nikto Jedi. Awesome. Love an alien Jedi, just like Kit Fisto. I gotta say, this was one of the better portraits they always seem to do. Like they can, excuse me, really nail some like Nikto portraits. I think this one looks pretty good to this day. But when you get to the rest of the figure, I couldn't even find many like reference photos or like promo images from this guy because he's from so far back. But like, yeah, again, swivel hips, kind of crude looking, like wide stance there. Like it just doesn't look that natural. Upper body's not that bad. I'm pretty sure he just has swivel wrists. He doesn't have any hinges or anything like that. But yeah, if I had to rate this guy like today, he's probably like a C, maybe even a C minus in terms of like how good some of our figures can be. So he's somewhat acceptable, but then when it comes to the lower legs, I just can't live with swivel hips. I'm sorry, Hasbro. They have no place in 2026 when we have such incredible stuff. But before we move on to some more of these figures, I just want to see what some of you guys are saying in chat because I see definitely some comments here when it comes to some of the stuff we just went over. No more swivel. See, my guy gets it. My car's a 2016. I hear you, man. Mine's a 2013. So like, it's still running really good, but is it as nice when I get in somebody's 26 like version? No, definitely wouldn't mind an update. Yeah, down with the swivel. Dang, I feel that. I'm there too, man. I'm there. Mine is made it to California and back and been on a lot of other adventures. It's the Falcon of my life so far. TVC Dooku. Such a good figure. Such a good figure. Update Mace. Heck yes. Heck yes. Not living with that Mace. Love this clone. Bought some more the other day. Awesome. Awesome. You gotta get more clones, The more clones, the better. This is the best clone in my opinion. Really? So you prefer the carded Phase 1 Attack of the Clones clone? Is that what I'm gathering here, Hot Runner? I'm just curious. Is that the reason why you're not getting the 4-pack? And what about it speaks more to you? I just kind of want to know. Because it's not a bad figure. Again, like I kind of had a fix around for that chin thing on the helmet, but like I don't know. Do you prefer the plastic swappable or slip-on helmets rather than swappables? Is that where you stand on that subject? If Hasbro packed a head in there, it would be great. A head for who? Oh, for the clone. A clone. Yeah. always should be included. It should just have the head on and then like the helmet separate in the bubble. I think that is the move that I would like to see personally. Dooku has fallen and he can't get up. uh, he had life alert. He was good. Separatists were hooking him up. What's up, man? My Star Wars guys. Glad to see you here, man. Dooku is solid. Love him. Yeah, he is really a good figure. He is standing the test of time, just like a lot of some of these finally modern, definitive versions of characters that we're getting in Vintage Collection. It just took a little investment, Hasbro, to get those barbell hips more regular and the rocker ankles and stuff like that. And yeah, we're making some really good strides when it comes to like TVC in general. I wouldn't mind a younger Jedi Dooku. Yes, yes, and yes. I made a concept for that so incredibly long ago. And then they released it in the Black Series, like what, like a year or so later, I believe. Yeah, that Tales of the Jedi episode was incredible. So I would absolutely love to get a young Jedi Dooku into the line. Um, a Yaddle. I want some more of those figures from those animated shows. Yeah. He would also be easy one. Like they can leverage a lot of the tooling from the current Dooku, just like they did, and get us that in TVC. It's not like we don't want that either. What's up, Jabba? Late to the party. We'll circle back later and catch what I missed on the replay. Right on, man. Well, glad to have you here now. Like, better late than never, right? It's all good. Hell yeah, younger Dooku with swappable head. Yeah, because he's got, a very younger version we saw in Tales of the Jedi, and then slightly, older pre all white hair Dooku leave the Jedi Order. So yeah, I think that'd be cool too. The only thing about this mace, the only cool thing about this mace is his lightsaber. True. True. Yeah, that mace is sad, man. He's freaking sad. I don't want to see that fool ever. Hey, dudes, what's up? He does need a update. Truth. Speak truth. It's all good, man. It's all good. Pablo Kill legit doesn't need an update. Just repack him. We're going to get to him. Don't you worry. But I agree. Kid is okay, just not enough for dynamic poses. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he's decent, but for me personally, I just want to see him brought up to a definitive level. So it's like similar to like thinking about, I don't know. I know I used the car reference already, but it's like think about like your smartphone from like 5 years ago or 10 years ago versus the one you have now or whatever you may have, an iPad, even your computers. Like system software updates, we're going this way. We need to be going up, not down. So that's just how I feel about some of those characters too. So like I don't know, just some of the tooling from back in the day seems like it's harder to add little updates to it to make it as equally as definitive or equally updatable as some of the newer stuff. So at this point, while they're redoing and like throwing all this Jedi tooling around, I think it would be like a smart move just to redo a Kit Fisto, just because it seems like he would need more new tooling, and that way he can like leverage tooling to somebody else or whatever, and just keep growing that tooling library. But I think a lot of these older figures are kind of very limited in what they can like update to them, just because like these parts clearly don't fit with some of the newer stuff. I picked up all the Acolyte Jedi at Ross cheap. Nice. I mean, Ross has been great for some deals, and I know that those have been landed at Ross. I definitely picked up a bunch more souls myself for like Jedi customs and stuff. Really like his cloak. Not sure which one you're talking about. It could be Obi-Wan. That cloak's not that great. The Mace one's okay, and then the Kit Fisto one's definitely from older back in the day when they were really baggy. I'm gonna die is an okay figure. We could put his head and hands on a new body. Now we're all set. I mean, yeah. I mean, whatever they can kind of use, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand their tooling sometimes when it comes to like how they can make things work. So sometimes I feel like it almost seems easier for them to just redo it. And also, there's always the thing of like, do they even still have the Kit Fisto tooling? Who knows? It's been a while. It's been a while. They could use some of the Acolyte Jedi body for new Jedi. Yep, totally agree. or even for like backgrounder Jedi or something like that, or like an army builder 4 pack of random Jedi's to just help really build out like a pretty nice scene for like the battle arena. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha. Removable head. Gotcha. But yeah, let's go back to the list. So then we have good old Barris Offee, Attack of the Clones. Old release. I couldn't even find many pictures of the figure without like, um, just like a promo image of her actual just like figure. But she was re-released not too long-ish ago in a Clone Wars micro series like color scheme. Essentially exactly the same figure, just different colors. Now, it's not that bad of a figure, but the lower legs, again, swivel hips, not that great. It's just like, I don't know. When I look at like the Shock T and like what I can do with this figure and just like get her in some better poses and just stuff like that and just make her look a little bit more natural, it makes me wish that they would, at least for this character, use the same legs they did on Shock T, use those like skirt right there, the soft goods. They would need to retool her torso so that they could have torso piece that actually fits with the barbell hip and the torso peg. And also, like something I don't like on a lot of these older figures here is like this part right here at her belt. So before they got like torso crunches and stuff like that, it was more of just like a swivel. And the problem with the swivel is when you turn her, it's like she has this nice hourglass sculpt right here, which looks nice. But then when you turn her like torso or like her hips or whatever, this part right here starts to protrude out the front and it just doesn't look natural. It looks not like an actual person. It looks like a toy. Whereas, so if they wanted to redo her like upper torso section, reuse the same arms, and then give her like the Shock T legs, I think that would be adequate, in my opinion. They can use the same head. I'm not totally in love with this like hood thing, just because it's kind of like a harder plastic. Um, and like the actual like cloak or cape that like drapes back there is just like really hard plastic. I think if that was a softer plastic, I would live with it. Obviously, I would prefer a soft goods, and I could live with like a soft plastic hood. But yeah, I think that would be a minimal upgrade to like make this a bit more of a definitive figure for the line. And you're reusing tooling that you already have that's nice and good, which pretty much Shock T is what Morgan Elspeth's upper legs, and then they gave her new below the knee like boots and stuff like that. So they could either do something similar with her or just reuse Shock T's legs completely. I think that would be a nice update for Barris. And then moving on, we have Ayla, who's on a Revenge of the Sith card, but I did include her because she's pretty essential in terms of the Geonosis arena, scenes. And whoops. And on top of it, her outfit doesn't really change much between the movies. So yeah, that's why I kept her kind of on a Revenge of the Sith card or whatever. But looking at the figure here, promo image from back in the day, it's just like, okay, is she a mummy? Is she being laid to rest after Order 66? Like, what's going on here? As you can see, that cloak is just really not good. The stitching is too heavily done here, and just like, yeah. The figure itself is actually really good. This promo image does not do it much justice. Again, just like some of the others, they redid her in the micro series Clone Wars colors and on this nice card back. And if you take a look at the figure here, it is definitely a lot better. Now, I'll say in terms of the older Jedi, including Kit Fisto and all the ones we just recently have been looking at, she is kind of the best one, in my opinion. She overall is a really nice sculpt. The photoreal was nice to be added to her head sculpt. She has a torso like I don't know what you want to call this, like peg here, so she can like move her like upper body in a bit more of a natural way. There's no articulation down here. She does have like ball jointed hips, but they're kind of like that swivel hinge ball joint, so they're a bit crude. There's no swivel at the thigh, and then she doesn't have any rocker ankles. So while she doesn't have a swivel at the thigh, which is unfortunate, but you don't even see that sometimes on some of these newer Black Series figures. I think if this character would have had rocker ankles or could be retooled from below the knee with new legs and rocker ankles, I think this would be sufficient enough for a pretty definitive release of this character. I would, of course, prefer them to like redo the barbell hips, but unfortunately, this is sometimes Hasbro does this, and they did it a bit more back in the day. But this whole section from like her top here to the crotch is one solid piece, as opposed to being a separate piece down here, which you see a lot more on our other figures. And it really frustrates me because if that were the case, all they would have had to do is keep this entire section here totally fine, and then just redo the crotch piece to be barbell hips and then redo the legs or something. But then it seems like I'm asking for a lot for Ayla. Now, is Ayla a pretty popular character? Kind of. So does she warrant like a full retool from like all the way down here to like basically from the below her two top to like all the way down? I don't know. You know, we have so many few tooling dollars and slots and stuff like that. Whereas like I would love that, but I would almost be content enough, like I said, if they redid her from below the knees because they need to adjust for the rocker ankle here, and that would be enough for this figure. Because she poses pretty well, but she has that problem with no rocker ankles to where like, you know, her feet don't sit flat on the ground when she's doing a wide stance, and it just looks a little awkward. And it would really be beneficial to have rocker ankles on this character. So I think I could live with that. If they wanted to do that below the knees and also give us a hand that doesn't also have that like, you know, force push two-pointed finger thing. Because every scene or like pose I have her in, she has that. And it's like, give her a relaxed hand too, please. So yeah, definitely one of the better figures though, in my opinion. So that could be a nice partial tool and just close the book on Ayla. Then moving on, we have a character that wasn't really released in Vintage Collection for Attack of the Clones, Luminara Unduli. She was part of the good old 3.75 Black Series line, which was a time, to be said the least. At the time, she was a decent figure, but man, going back to the promo images, I don't mean to talk crap, but who took this? It makes this figure look like it wasn't fun to even photograph. So why even add it to your collection, right? I kid, but like, man, she looks stiff. She looks like a really oddly made statue. So the figure is actually not that bad. Again, she was released somewhat recently. Clone Wars Micro Series colors. And here they got a better picture. Thank goodness. She does have swivel hips, so that's not great. And no rocker ankles. Somehow they were able to make her do this forward kind of like stance thing. But that's about the extent of what she can do. Now, again, similar to what I was talking about with Barris, if they want to just retool a new chest piece and then use Shaak Ti's legs, I would live with that. Reuse everything else, and I would be okay with it. But she's swivel hips, which is just not great. So we haven't seen the Attack of the Clones color variant in the Vintage Collection yet, but Hasbro, please just don't release the swivel hips character. I know my buddy Tyler from SW and TVC is a big hater of swivel hips as well, and they're just not fun. Not in 2026. Not anymore. Please don't do it. But yeah, so we kind of need this character. She's essential for that Battle of Geonosis scene, but I don't want to see her with swivel hips, man. Go back to the drawing board. Go the extra mile. I think all of us here can appreciate when people do things for us where they go the extra mile. Any kind of care and attention and just, you know, consideration is always greatly appreciated. So yeah, I would feel the same when it comes to this a character. And then just like my man Hal Runner Base was talking about, Pablo Gil. Now, again, did not get a Vintage Collection release at all, actually. He was just a 3.75 Black Series line figure. I don't have this one. He is pretty stinking expensive, actually, and kind of hard to track down. So wouldn't mind having him. And out of all the older Jedi that we just looked at, he is surprisingly well articulated. So he may not have like the most advanced torso crunch or whatever. I think that's pretty much just a swivel there, which is fine. But he's got ball jointed hips, no swivel at the thigh. That's okay, I think, for him. He's got a really weird alien anatomy anyway. He's got, you know, hinges at the knees, which is great. But he has rocker ankles. Of all the characters back in the day, they were like, you know, this crazy looking anatomy alien here, he needs rocker ankles. Probably because his legs are just so weird that like for him to actually stand, which just shows you that rocker ankles actually have a functional purpose. They were like, we have to give him rocker ankles, and they did, which is a rarity back then. And this guy got them. He's not a main character. It's kind of deep cutty when it comes to Jedi and stuff. He got rocker ankles. Dang. So I got to say, this figure is actually one of the only ones I think they could repack and I would be cool with. He's got rocker ankles. He does have just swivels at the wrist, which I think is okay. But yeah, overall, his tunic looks okay. I think if they want to do his lower tabards in a softer plastic to, kind of live up to today's standards, that would be nice. A newly better hemmed cloak would be probably appreciated. I don't know how it goes with the tooling on that, like what patterns they have. If they have the one still on file that they used here or what they were using at the time, don't know. But something a little better fitting would be nice. And yeah, overall, I think he's not bad. He does have kind of like, let's zoom in here real quick. What was kind of like that really older style, like bottom cufflink of like the Jedi tunic, which honestly looks sort of on par with even what we got with that Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan recently, where it's like not wonderful, but honestly, it's not that bad. But yeah, if you just take a look at this guy, like, yeah, he's got rocker ankles. And like again, he looks like he's got all the lower leg articulation here to like strike a good pose. And honestly, this head sculpt actually pretty good. So I would imagine them hitting this with a little bit of like photoreal could really add some nice like detail and like realism to this like alien, and I think look pretty spectacular. So yeah, this guy is a contender for repack. Also, look at that face. That's the face of me being happy to get this expensive, hard to get secondary figure into the vintage collection. So that cloak right there doesn't look that great, but his face says it all. Repack me because I'm decent enough. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the random older characters that are either good enough, which were mostly Dooku and Jango, and then a lot of these need a little bit of tweaking. But yeah, Battle of Geonosis. What do you guys think so far? With everything, some of the older figures, which ones do you want to see, which are good enough? Do you want to see updates to them, minor tooling improvements? Does posing and articulation mean as much to you as it does to me? I want these things to look good, not only in my collection, but I also want to share and inspire things with people and make them go like, man, that looks really nicely displayed. Look at that recreation of that scene. Therefore, that's why I need sometimes these like tooling advancements and updates to some of these characters, because I want vintage collection to look as impressive and inspiring to me as it does to the next person. Like I just want to like, continue to spread the love when it comes to TVC. And then as far as like some of these older things that we even looked at, going back to the top, or not older things, support things. How are you guys feeling with the support? Let's go back to the main thumbnail where we kind of show it all off. Backtrack. Gotta love this shit, man. Yeah. So yeah, how you guys feeling? Let's see what you're saying in the comments. What's going on here when it comes to Battle Geonosis? Let's see. No more swivel, jointed anything in TVC. Yes, preach it. I'm here for it, or actually not here for it. Hasbro, I think they get it. I know I can be a little energetic sometimes with my comments on letting Steve know and like certain posts and stuff like that, and tagging him along with Tyler that like swivel hips are just not the way. I don't think they do any good for the line. Like we want to look appealing to somebody, and it's like swivel hips versus a fully articulated thing in another scale, or like another toy line. Like somebody's probably going to go to the better thing. It's like, again, going back to like the nice ride or the beater. I think every one of us, depending on what you're doing, would probably want to go into the nicer car. But yeah, no more. Enough. The Nikto Jedi cloak. I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, let's go back to that character real quick, too. because his cloak is actually like pretty cool. I remember when I first got that figure and opened it up because like his cloak was different than everybody else. And it's still not that bad. I remember, or not remember, it's made of like a kind of like nice thicker material. It's kind of like a paint canvas type or whatever. But yeah, he's a cool one. He's a cool one for sure. And like I said, that portrait is actually really nice. Again, if there's just something they can do to like, leverage new legs and like maybe a new torso or like kit bash him with something. I don't know. I don't even know how accurate his figure is to his actual Jedi cloaks. I should actually talk to Evan about that and see if they actually nailed this guy. But yeah, he's a cool one. He's a cool one. I put a General Madine head on a Saw body. Oh, nice. That's a good move. That's a good move. Yeah, speaking of that, I actually have one here. I have make this larger for you guys. How do I remove? There we go. Put me back. There we go. A little Jurassic Park head on a Saw body myself. I have a bunch of these lying around. But yeah, love the Saw. Love the Saw figure. It's a good one. Okay, I'm at the ocean for vacation. I'll catch the rest later. Just wanted to show some respect and check in. Awesome, dude. Appreciate you, Rob. Always love having you around, man. If for some reason you guys don't follow him on Instagram, go check out my Star Wars guys. Does amazing toy photography. Just all around good dude. Enjoy the vacation, man. Catch some waves. We'll chat later. Absolutely need a whole new TVC Ayla. Dang, sci-fi dude was like, no retool, no partial tool, none of that nonsense. He was a whole new one. I mean, here's the thing. I would never say no to that. Twilight Jedi. I think a lot of us are here for that. She's also just a cool character. Yeah. I would love them to do like an all new one like they did with like the Black Series one or whatever. Yeah, I would not be mad at it. As a matter of fact, her legs honestly are like not far off from the Tonica sister legs. And I've said it time and time again, the Tonica sisters tooling could probably be used for a lot of different characters. It's just like spandex and boots or whatever. Those could be used on Ayla. Those could be used on dang, why is her name blanking out on me right now? Oh my gosh. Dang. Big blank. Clone Wars helps train Boba. She's in the Phantom Menace. That was her character debut card. Why am I blanking on her? You guys know who I'm talking about. Orange jumpsuit or bodysuit. But yeah, they could use legs for that too. I made a mock-up of her. Clearly I'm a little bit tired and I cannot remember. I can't get into this memory. But yeah, man, I would totally be here for a new Ayla. I like to pose the 3 women of the Clone Wars together. Heck yeah. I'm pretty sure I took a photo of them long time ago when we first got those in our collections. I put them all together in a shot. They look good. They look good. Pablo. No, I hear you, man. He's a good one. He is a good one. He's perfect. He is perfect. He's got a lovely, lovely smile, and he's got lovely articulation, especially for his time. He would be a good one. I'm kind of curious, like, yeah, he'd probably be a sizable bubble actually, because he looks like a pretty bigger figure. Yeah, he'd probably get that like similar to the recent deluxe Mando size bubble. Yep, just what you're saying. Dang, sci-fi dude, you're in my mind, man. You're in my mind. And I remember what I was talking about. Aura Singh. There it goes. Just a little bit slow. I'm kind of like that old car. I take a little bit of time to like ramp up. Droideka, Jedi, and Boba would do it for me. Oh, yes. Young Boba. We definitely need a young Boba, which would be a smart tooling investment because they could do some young clone cadets and stuff like that. Yeah, we need a young Boba for sure. And a Droideka. I want to see a proper Droideka. I want to see like what they can really like push their engineering team to do because they do some pretty impressive stuff. July through November. What's going on? New Arena Anakin is 95% there, question mark. We still need Arena Obi-Wan, Padme, and Mace. Yup. Totally agree. We're kind of talking about it a little bit ago. I think because of that San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Clone Wars version, we can expect to see a Attack of the Clones Anakin. almost wouldn't be surprised if we see it maybe during San Diego Comic-Con or maybe even a little bit before that, to be honest. So yeah, he's pretty much there. As far as Obi-Wan, they haven't like given me any hints to make me think he's coming, but he's a must-have in my opinion. So hopefully, excuse me, they are working on that because we definitely need him. And then Padme with the ripped shirt, and then I don't know if you were here, but I was ranting about Mace because that Mace is garbage. And a matter of fact, we're pretty close enough. I don't know if you saw, but this is not good. And all you need to take away from this July through November is my sentiment, which is I don't want to hear this kind of statement anymore from Hasbro or like collectors who just don't understand why we want some updates to core characters or want to be included. Straight up. Straight up. But let's go back to the top because I kind of want to look at all the characters we have so far. When it comes to Battle of Geonosis. Too bad we couldn't unlock the last two Jedis from the HasLabs. I know. Stacey Tin again. I think if we make enough noise, we can get those characters released, just like they did with the Cantina patrons recently. We just need to show like those are characters we need. But like regardless, I don't even know if we need to always show Hasbro things because Hasbro, you're gonna give me updated Jedi, but then I'm not gonna have like a proper way to later arrest Palpatine without Stacey Tin. Like, come on, man. Like, also, like, I'm gonna need these for this display, period. So while we didn't unlock them in the HasLab with their unique cards and stuff like that, I really implore you to just make those characters, make it happen. We need them in our collections, and we're gonna need them for the Battle Geonosis, period. So we'll continue to make noise and show support for them, but I also want you to know to just, surprise us and do the right thing. Just get those characters into the line. Padme thighs and hips are generic for a lot of Jedi. That's true. That's true. I've made a couple customs too from that character so far, just like boil and pop and stuff. Like for just like a better Leia and stuff like that, kind of like expanded universe and whatever. But yeah, really good tooling. Such a good figure in general. There you go. It took me a while, man. It took me a while. Worst thing. But yeah, I really do think like Tonica legs could be beneficial. They should be using that more often. And I know I've ranted about it on other people's streams, but like I hate that Aura Singh figure. The current one that was repacked in Vintage Collection like last year or whatever. Bad figure, man. So bad. Also, they gave it to us on a new card with less of the accessories from the first round. Like, oh, no. Such a bad figure. Awful. Findor Moon, what's up? Hello, boyo. Sorry I'm late. Man, it is all good, dude. Like I've been saying to other people, better late than never. Fashionably late. You're here, dude. So I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Got to have you on the stream again. I don't know if I think many of you people here in the chat did catch Finn on some of the streams with Evan when we were going over Maul Shadow Lord, but good times. Finn's a great dude. Really creative as well. I've seen you've been pumping out some photos, man, and I need to find some time in life to get back to photos. There's so much to do. So little time. But yeah, I want to take some photos. Yeah. Tonway? Yes. I would love to see a Tonway. I would love to see some Kaminoans and stuff like that. Just continue to build out the Attack of the Clones like line and stuff. As far as Battle Geonosis, they weren't there, but yeah. Regardless, Bad Batch, Clone Wars, I want to see more Kaminoans in general too. Fennec Shan. What about Fennec Shan? What about her? She's an amazing figure that we have, an amazing character. I hope we see her more in more Star Wars stuff. I just love Ming-Na. Pablo Jill would be the perfect candidate for a TVC repack. Need that figure. Yeah, man. I don't have that one either, and I think it's probably one of the only perfect candidates, to be honest. Simply because it's got rocker ankles. Rocker ankles really go a long way. Like I was saying with Ayla, I would almost live with her if she had rocker ankles. But she doesn't have that. So would kind of require a little bit of tooling investment there. And while she would probably still, even with rocker ankles, in my opinion, be a B plus, that is better than, being a B. B minus, especially for Ayla. I think she's a fan favorite. I'm really gonna need more Jedi for the Battle Geonosis from the Battle Geonosis. Yeah, and like I only covered like some of the vintage collection stuff that's been released, or like some 3.75, but there were even things in the what do you call Revenge of the Sith 3D line, like some of those Battle of Geonosis like multi packs where we had like lots of different Jedi, such as like what are their names like Safet Josal, Sarissa Jang. Yeah, like those sets were cool. Will they be redoing those characters? I don't know. Those are all definitely like pretty crude too in terms of like their articulation. So I don't know how they could. They might be able to kit bash some of them with some of this newer Jedi tooling, and I would live with that. But yeah, we're gonna need a lot more Jedi in general. Finn, would you be okay getting like a random army builder 4 pack of no named like random Jedi to help kind of like flesh out this like um Battle Geonosis like scene? I think I would. I don't think it would be a bad idea. I know some people were like kind of like suggesting that too. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and Yoda are absolute must. Yep, Yoda's one I didn't mention. He's not on Attack on the Clones card. He's on Revenge of the Sith. And then we've had like the original trilogy Yoda, but we need a new Yoda in general. He could be a bit better. Yeah, and it's Yoda. He's like a pretty main character from Star Wars, period. So I think a new Yoda would be appreciated, but he is tiny. So they're going to have to really hit the drawing board with some engineering and tooling for him. But I've seen them do some impressive stuff. So I want to see a proper Yoda. But yeah, you missed. I don't know if you were here, Finn, but I was ranting on about Mace Windu. That Mace Windu is not going to do for me. That's for sure. He ain't going to do. We need a proper new. Or a Sing. Yes, yes. Member for 9 months. Sci-fi dude. Droideka Deluxe. Yeah, it would probably be a deluxe for sure, especially if it's going to be newly tooled and the size of that thing on a, I don't even know if it could fit on a bubble. It might be a box situation, but yeah, I would almost guarantee it's deluxe. And I know sometimes people hate the deluxe thing, the pricing and all that, but unfortunately, the more new tooling we want to see in a year could lead to more deluxe releases, just because they, to make their investment worth their buck, sometimes they have to charge that deluxe price, which is closer to a Black Series price, which is why Black Series gets more tooling, because they can charge more for the larger figure or whatever. I don't know. Steve has gone on about it in his like own channel and talking about, the cost of a figure, which is really just the labor of taking this thing and putting every single piece together, which is roughly the same number of pieces as a Black Series thing. So the labor cost is about the same, but they can charge more for another figure and basically almost make about double the price or whatever. But then there's like clearances and stuff like that. So I don't know how that math works, but yeah, regardless, man, it'd probably be a deluxe. Sorry I'm late. I was at work. Night Rex 92, no problem, man. I know what it's like. I was talking way earlier when we kicked off the stream. Like I didn't even get to stream much this month because my own job has been absolute Battle of Geonosis myself. Been really, really busy. A lot of deadlines and stuff like that. So all good, man. Hopefully we got to start vacation soon. Get to relax and unwind for like the holiday and just talk some more TVC and stuff like that. But happy you're here, man. It's all good. Kiadi Mundi, Kit Fisto, Stacey Tin, Aiden Kolar are also super important. Yes, I didn't do a wish list for this Battle of Geonosis segment or like stream. I kind of want to do another stream sometime soon. Maybe we'll do another one in early July after the holiday, and maybe get some folks on here to talk with me about potential other vehicles, like either ones that are already existing and probably good enough to be a simple repaint with like really proper deco for like vintage collection, but also maybe some of our must-have characters or like Jedi that we want to see and rank which ones are like most important to some people. I think that'd actually be a pretty fun one to do, Finn. Maybe I can chat with you and Evan and some other people and see if we can all band together on that. But yeah, Kiadi Mundi has been on some of my March Madnesses and stuff like that. He's definitely one I want to see. Kit Fisto has been lower on my radar just because we have a figure, but as we were discussing in here, he's good, but he could be better. So again, like Kit Fisto might be one that rises to the top for me. And then don't even want to get into those teases from the HasLab. Gonna need those characters. Gonna need those. I'm so jealous of the Black Series Jedi Temple Guard. Ugh, why you trigger me, man? I was trying not to go there, but F and A. F and A. I am also rather jealous of those. Mostly because I love the Clone Wars. I love Rebels. We made so much noise. I was a huge, huge supporter of getting the Ghost and just Rebels in general into the vintage collection. And the Jedi Temple Guard has not been one that I like personally go out there and say I want a lot. I do want it. And I know it's been a heavy hitter on March Madness and other fan polls, like Last Figure Standing and stuff. It is one that we want. That 5PO not so great figure, the only existing figure of the Jedi Temple Guard, goes for such crazy money. And like people want that figure. I want that figure. So like to see us back a HasLab for the Ghost and just like get a little bit of support, but we're really not seeing as much maybe as we have with like the gunship. And then see like a heavy hitting character like that make its way into the Black Series first. It's just like Hasbro, come on, man. Come on. I don't always want to be the bridesmaid. I want us to be the bride sometimes. Let us get those W's. That's how you bring more people into the line, newer people who maybe are like a serious Rebels fan, but they've never collected anything. Maybe for some reason, the Jedi Temple Guard is like their absolute favorite character, period. They never even collected anything. Well, as much as I love the Black Series for what it is for other people or whatever, I love my line. I want to see people come and collect this line. So that person's going to go collect that thing and maybe never even turn the eye to like TVC. And that kind of sucks. So it's like, this is why sometimes it can be really tough and why there's like, jealousy or animosity or whatever. But nah, man, I'm definitely jealous of those. I hope that character's coming sometime soon to TVC because I think it's pretty well known that 5POA figure costs a lot in the secondary market and that the Jedi Temple Guard is always on March Madness. So yeah, they look good. They would look good. They would just look even better on my TVC Rebels display shelf. I did a custom 2 boots last week. Oh, heck yeah, man. Did you get one of those printed files I've been seeing online? Some of those look pretty cool. Or like, how'd you go about making your custom? Props, man. That sounds awesome. Right on. Lil Pookie, what's up? I'm late, but I cannot wait until the gunship arrives. Feel ya, man. Feel ya. The gunship is going to be spectacular. Really looking forward to it. It's nice that we're building this world around it, and yeah, happy that you were able to back one and or however many you got. And yeah, I hope they give us some updates soon. Like, I want to see the box. I want to see some more updates, and like hoping it's shipping out maybe a little early. Most likely, it's still going to come like when they always do. It's like kind of like late October into November, like getting ready for like the holiday season and whatnot. I agree. Pablo Gil would be an awesome repack. Yeah. Yep. He's clearly much better than I ever remembered. Yeah, when I was putting this together today, I was like, man, he really is not that bad. Dude, I would give my left kidney for a no-name Jedi army builder set for Battle of Geonosis. I need one from the Acolyte too. Right on, right on. Yeah, I was talking about earlier how the Acolyte did get us a lot of some of the first updated Jedi tooling in general in TVC and 375. And like they're all spectacular figures. And it's good to see them leverage some of the tooling for Acolyte for even like the Cantina set, lower legs and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be cool for them to do an Acolyte army builder 4-pack or something, and just continue to use that and just like use those molds and all that tooling and stuff to get us more and more Jedi. I know a lot of people find them at Raw, so they're already making a lot of their own characters too, which has been cool to see. True that Mace Windu is some straight Bantha voodoo. I think they were Walmart exclusive 2 packs. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what you're referencing that I said, but actually that reminded me. Yeah, there were some of those other battle packs, which is one that I thought about. The Rhodian. There was like a Rhodian with the battle droid. That was also a cool random Jedi. And like that could be easy. They could use honestly, they could literally stick a Greedo head on like a Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan body and be like, here, random Jedi. Honestly, I might just do that or something. I do have plenty of those Obi-Wans from opening up those sets. But yeah, stuff like that. I want to see them get a little creative. A little creative. What would a proper Yoda look like as far as articulation? Well, he's got hinges at the knees. He's kind of not got a rocker ankle, but I feel like there's a little bit of a tilt to it, which could be cool. I just think like it's kind of like clunky currently. I don't know if you have that figure, sci-fi dude, but it could just be a little better and smoother. And like I do think the knee is articulated, but like maybe it could bend back a little bit more, which would be nice. Maybe a little bit more to that rocker ankle or whatever that peg thing is. I don't know what they call that in terms of like articulation, like the technical term for it. But his arms have never been that great. He used to have like a swivel, which is awful. I think the most recent one doesn't have that. I think it's a hinge. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's a hinge. Um, but yeah, I think the bigger issue is he doesn't really have like a ball jointed hip thing, swivel. So like he can't really do even like a wide stance if he wanted to. I think that's where the figure's kind of lacking. It would also be nice to get a little bit more like tilt in his barbell head joints. And yeah, I don't know. I think also like he didn't hold the saber great. So it needs a better grip for sure. Oh man. It would be lovely if you could two-hand grip that saber, but that seems like a big ask for such tiny tooling. So yeah, I don't know. A Yoda. That's why I said Yoda's hard because he's so tiny. It would be one of the smallest articulated figures that I can think of in terms of like human articulation or like human like. The Clone Forward Command Center would be a cool TVC release. Totally agree. I think that would be a nice one to do. I know Hole in the Ground Productions has one. Um, so if Hasbro never makes it, you always have that option. But yeah, I think some stuff like that would be pretty cool. We need a lot more clone officers too to go with that. Just saying. Just saying, man. Republic Commandos are part of the Battle of Geonosis question mark. Delta Squad could use some love. I mean, bring on the clones. So this is literally what we've been making noise for is a little bit more prequel representation, more clones and stuff like that. I think Hasbro knows that like there's a good size community here that loves the Clone Wars as well because we were getting Clone Wars stuff. But yeah, Clone Commandos are definitely something I want to see. Yeah, I don't know why it's taking them so long to bring that character to TVC, but I'm pretty sure people would build a lot of buy a lot of them for building armies, but also go to town with customs. Clone fans are big on their customs. Does the Anakin from the Anakin Ventures 2-pack coming out this month work for the Battle of Geonosis? For the most part, it does, but obviously it's got like a ripped sleeve and stuff like that, which doesn't entirely work, but they nearly have all the parts to get us what we need in terms of an Attack of the Clones Anakin. So I have a feeling it will be coming pretty soon. It's a no-brainer. Seeing Black Series get the Jedi Temple Guard after TVC collectors have spent the past 6 years begging Hasbro for him through fan polls really makes my blood boil. Yeah, I'm sure you're feeling some kind of Sith anger, man, and I gotta tell you, I agree, and I agree with everyone else who's a little bit bummed that we have to kind of sit back after 6 years of begging for that character or just making noise for it to kind of just be like, okay, maybe next year, right? Even though there's a whole laundry list of stuff that we need, man. So yeah, I don't know, Hasbro. The data's there. The data's there, as Tyler would like to say. Make these characters. You know that we want them. I enjoy how the only merchandise people are purchasing from the prequel are the prequel trilogy and original trilogy products, along with expanded universe products, but nobody buys any of the Disney garbage. I don't know if that's entirely true, man. I mean, everyone's got their own personal tastes and stuff like that, but Ahsoka was one of the best fleshed out lines in terms of what we saw for new media. Like we got nearly everything from that show, and that show was great for me. I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars and Rebels, and that was basically like a new Rebels episode, but in live action with some touch back to the like prequel trilogy and Clone Wars with Hayden making appearance again. I bought every one of those figures. I was very happy with what they did. I mean, heck, the Ghost was advertised as a Ahsoka product, but I mean, I hear you. Everyone's got their own tastes and stuff like that, but also, like I was mentioning earlier, times just continue to get tougher and tougher, and that does affect collecting habits as well when it comes to price and just all sorts of stuff. Yeah, yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, EU is always going to be a big, big thing for a lot of people. A lot of us love, when there was no Star Wars, to use our imagination, read books, play video games, and all that stuff. Expanded universe is definitely a special place in a lot of our hearts. I found 3 Jedi Temple guards back in the day at Target and had to sell 2 of them last year, but I still got one open. Dang, nice, dude. Nice. Did you buy some gunships with the selling of 2 of those? Because they go for pretty pennies. The figure is a bit clunky, but is the figure McClunky? That's a good one, Finn. That's a good one, man. We got to make like a flyer or something with that. Okay. Okay. Okay, man. I got you. I got you. I never done any cosplay, but I would do a Jedi Temple guard or maybe Darth Revan. Dang. Okay. Both are kick-ass characters. So shit. If you had to choose, which one would you do? Revan's been done a lot, and I see a lot of Revans, but I don't feel like I see many Temple guards. So I personally, if I had to choose, like if I was gonna do cosplay, I think a Temple guard would be pretty cool. Temple guard's like you like some Star Wars shit, some like that's not like a character like the average person's like, who the hell's that? Hasbro needs to make sure that any Jedi tunics are narrow enough for two-handed lightsaber poses. Yeah, I hear you on that. They are doing a better job, I think, with the plastic being a bit softer. So it's a little bit pliable, so you can really get those hinges to go like that. I found that to be kind of nice for the recent Obi-Wan figure. But yeah, I agree. Or at least make that plastic even softer if possible. But yeah, they need to stop doing their lats and push-ups and stuff. Stop working out them chest muscles, man. Too swole. At some point, Steve Evans should reveal his Battle of Geonosis poster. So far, I'm not terribly impressed with the Battle of Geonosis lineup. Yeah, I gotta agree. Like it's not that I'm not unimpressed, but like I do want to see a bit more enthusiasm there and like passion behind designing that and really building out that little world and stuff like that. I feel like we're going to see an update to it sometime recently as they continue to get some of this new product in, photograph it, and maybe even get like the actual, like properly done gunship or something. Not sure, but yeah, Steve, where are you at, man? Let's see some more design on that poster. I want to see a little bit more. I need more. Agree with you. Yoda is so tiny for great articulation. He is small, man. He is tiny. We need ARC troopers now with realistic representation, blue, red, yellow, as well as the gunner and pilot from the Clone Wars cartoon. Heck yeah, man. Definitely agree with the ARC troopers. I've actually been thinking about that recently with some of my, as we're getting the new phase 1 clone trooper pack, I was thinking to myself, I was like, should I just take the plastic slip-on helmet phase ones from Attack of the Clones carded release and repaint those as some of my like Tiger Ship ARC troopers and stuff like that, because I don't know if they're going to go back to those anytime soon. So yeah, I've been thinking about swapping out some of my older clones, or even like the Andor clones. I have a couple of those. The thing that bugs me about those is they're ever so slightly an off-white color, and that kind of bugs me. But yeah, I agree. More Clone Wars and clones in general, man. Why do you think the new Commander Cody is coming out is getting wait, why do you think the new Commander Cody coming out is getting so much hate? I'm personally excited to see it in hand and was ready for a retooled version. I think because people are extremely passionate about clones and very particular because there's a lot of minor differences and just attention to detail when it comes to the clone stuff. I mean, heck, and that Ahsoka flashback on Mandalore, in the actual series, like people were like mad that Rex was like wearing his gauntlets, like or his like armor upside down or something like that. I'm not that attention to detail when it comes to clone stuff. Um, but yeah, I feel like that's part of it. I think the other part is just like the lack of a portrait there. I think that was a bigger thing. It's just like we got a portrait back in the day and a helmet in the bubble. So like why not both? I think that's the biggest problem. I mean, that was my problem with it. But other than that, I think the figure looks absolutely awesome, and I'm really hyped for that figure, and also to get that Anakin finally. I'm so excited for the Phase One Clone 4 pack and the B1 and B2 Droid pack. I know it's going to be proper world building and army building, and I would imagine with a name like Stormtrooper TK762, you are big into army building and just troopers in general. But yeah, really happy they're doing 3 army builder like 4 packs. Like that's kind of cool. I don't even remember how many we technically got last year, but like that's already 3 just for like this mini beat, which is pretty awesome. Pretty dang awesome. It's pretty much what I was saying, like yeah, people were just mad that like they didn't include like a portrait in there. It got the hard plastic helmet just popped on the barbell, but no portrait of Cody. And it's like he does take his helmet off quite a bit. We need an updated like Cody portrait. It was just kind of an odd choice by Hasbro, and I think it honestly pissed off a lot of people because we waited so long for like a proper Cody. He also didn't have like the hologram, which you got before. It's just small things like that where it's like, I mean, they said it themselves that they want to try to pack in as much value as possible when it comes to this stuff, especially because prices are going up. And it's just like, then you don't do it. So like, come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm curious to see how they decide to include Coleman Trabar in the Battle of Geonosis post. Probably just like lying on the ground. I think that would be absolutely hilarious, to be honest. He tried. He tried. Tried to tango with Django, man. He just couldn't do it. Also, I will annoy John Mustache until we have Dash Rendar and TVC. I really want an Outrider HasLab, as well as the various characters from Shadows of the Empire, Imperial Guard, Luke, Shizor, etc. I hear you. I don't know why he's such a Shadows of the Empire hater. I would expect him to love Shadows of the Empire. I don't know. I just don't know. I love Shadows of the Empire. N64. I remember this is a throwback. Renting N64, like the actual like gaming console, and Shadows of the Empire, and probably GoldenEye from Blockbuster. Back when you could rent a video game system and the games from a place. And I did it for like a birthday of mine. I can't remember how old I was at that time. But it was a good time. I gotta tell you, because I was like, whoa, like a Star Wars game that's like full 3D world. Like that was amazing. The only Star Wars game I had up until that point was a Super Nintendo, A New Hope game, which was super 2D, really hard too. But yeah, also like even the hint, even the fact that like Boba Fett had a picture on the box was like, whoa, like all of us love Boba Fett. Seeing him on the box and just like knowing he would be in the game and stuff, so good. Also, out of most of the scenes in Empire Strikes Back, my favorite part of the entire movie is the Imperial walkers and like the snow battle with the snow speeders. So being able to play that was fucking awesome, man. So I don't know what's wrong with John, man. He's tripping. I don't know if he's just hating on Dash Rendar, but I also really like that Power of the Force 2 figure. I had them all, and like I would love to see them done in TVC. I really would. Also, I saw that concept for the Outrider HasLab, and I got to tell you, I would definitely take that too. It's very similar to the Outrider like ship that we saw in Rebels with what what they call themselves, something Squadron, Iron Squadron, that Iron Squadron episode with Sato's nephew. Um, yeah, man. So I'm a fan of that ship. I think that would be cool. And it's also one that's like it's been done in Power of the Force too, but like it would be a proper vehicle. I think the battle packs make a good part of the um Battle of Geonosis theme, so those aren't as exciting as the new figures. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the one thing they've definitely given us a good amount here is army builders, but that makes sense because it's a battle. But I will agree that the figures have been very, very exciting. Like I said, Shakti, phenomenal. Padme, great. Plo Koon looks pretty good. I want to see it more in hand. Poggle's been great. But yeah, I do want to see more of those characters. So like even the Anakin, like simple retool or whatever is going to be nice. But again, essential. Need Mace Windu up in there, redone. Need a proper Obi-Wan. I would love to see Ki-Adi-Mundi. Definitely want to see him. As far as some of those older ones that we talked about a little bit ago, wouldn't mind seeing those updates, but an all-new Ki-Adi-Mundi, since he hasn't ever been done, would be very, very appropriate. And it ain't going to do unless we get a new Mace Windu. So it's a must. It is a must. I saw someone post on how the new Obi-Wan figure's neck and head separates from the torso, like the Jedi Spirit 3-pack Anakin figure. This gives me hope that they intend to reuse that Jedi tunic smartly. Yep, I saw that too. And as a matter of fact, I don't know, some of the customizers might be able to speak to this. That's actually pretty common on a lot of these figures. Cal Kestis is actually like that. His neck will completely come out of the figure if you start to take them apart or cut them and stuff like that. They usually glue those pieces in a little better. I think that's what they did with Cal. I'm trying to think of another one that I've cut open and was like that. I think honestly, yeah, it's the Wandering Jedi Obi-Wan from the Kenobi series. I'm pretty sure that whole neck and like skin part actually comes out. It's just actually like glued in there pretty well. But it allows them to do stuff like that, like reuse the tooling and the necks and like change it up. But yeah, even like the older Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, technically that whole neck piece comes out of his armor if you like deconstruct that whole thing. So it's still common, like kind of common practice, but I think it's really helpful when it comes to stuff like the Jedi figures and torsos, or even like the Imperial officer torsos. Just stuff that they can get a lot of leverage out of. Jedi Temple Guard all the way. Heck yeah. For starting off, I'm going to get one each 4-pack, one clone pack, one droid pack in my birthday. I'm going to get more in the future. Awesome. Right on, man. Right on. I think the lack of a head is a big sticking point for people with Cody. Yeah, it's just a bad move. It's really kind of a bad move. Um, they have opportunities to course correct that with the Bad Batch release. I mean, they can always do a bunch of different stuff and try to get that out there. I wouldn't mind seeing the Bad Batch release because I do want to see that Imperial Crosshair as well. So maybe that can even be like a 2-pack if they want to do one of those sets like that. So yeah. They better have the Battle of Geonosis poster by San Diego Comic-Con. That's actually a good point, and that would be a good place to have it and actually maybe pass it out or something like that, or just help create a little bit of hype and draw towards like, casual people who might be new collectors. I was surprised that Order 66 Anakin should have come with the 501st Airborne Trooper. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of an odd move. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the reasoning was there. I hope that Hasbro makes a Phase 1 Clone Trooper Captain or Sergeant. I'm going to be zip the lip and take money. Yeah, I think it would be a safe bet that we're going to get those updated as well now that we have the Commander and stuff like that. We need the Lieutenant as well done again because it was only done on that VC45 skinny mold. But yeah, I have a feeling those are coming. I mean, they're pretty easy repaints, and like they've already been getting their bang for their buck when it comes to this clone tooling investment. Blockbuster, I know, man. What a vibe, right? Ah, what a throwback. I definitely was renting some video games and systems back in the day. Crazy, crazy. Question: are you getting any of the new Star Wars video games? Man, I used to video game a lot back in the day, and I really have not gamed in like it's like 17 years, really. And like I'll watch like YouTube videos of like current games and like just like watch people's like gameplay. I find that actually pretty like relaxing. I'll just like maybe work on a custom or whatever I'm doing, drawing or something like that. Just kind of like vicariously live through their gameplay. And it's come across my like mind sometimes like maybe I should get a console and like play one of these games. I think that kind of be fun. I know it's kind of like such a streamery thing to do to like play games, but like it could be kind of cool. But yeah, regardless, I had thought about it, but then it's also like, dang man, I could save that money for some more clone troopers, and it's like getting back into video games is expensive. It's expensive. I actually like sold all my stuff too. I sold it all, and I part of me is like, I should have kept that because I really loved like Mario Kart and stuff like that. But yeah, Star Wars video games. I got to tell you, if they did actually, I don't even know because this shows how I like out of date I am when it comes to gaming. I don't know if there's any console or something you can download to play like Jedi Knight 2. I think there is one that you can play Jedi or Dark Forces, right? But like Jedi Knight 2 was definitely my shit when it comes to like computer games. Um yeah, I would play that game again. If like they did an updated version of it and something. Don't even get me started on like Kyle Katarn, like some figures. Not even gonna go there. If yes, which ones? Telling you, Jedi Knight 2, love it. Force Unleashed was great too. Yeah, but I stopped playing games a while ago, man. A while. But all those like classic LucasArts like computer games, those were definitely my thing when I was a kid, and we finally got a computer and stuff. Didn't have a computer or the internet for the longest time. So like I would like go to my buddy's house, who was like my friend collector, still my friend to this day. And, like he would have a lot of those games, and like like play there or like watch him play or whatever. But yeah, eventually started getting like stuff into the family. Any other collections besides Star Wars? I also collect Gundam. Not sure what MSIA figures is from 1999, 2003. Also some vintage Pokemon cards, but but figure are my shindig. Not too much. So I definitely collect like the Hammond collection stuff. Sometimes I'll post that to my like Instagram story or whatever. Did recently get the Indominus Rex. He's pretty cool. I just loved Jurassic Park when I was a kid and like getting those old Kenner things and like I don't know. I just see a lot of the value when it comes to 375 world building and some of those dinosaurs. When I first like held one, I was like, this thing's actually pretty nicely articulated. And I was just kind of hooked from there. So that's something I collect. The only 6-inch thing I collect is actually X-Men 97 because I loved X-Men as a kid. I still do. Those figures were awesome, and I just remember going to like KB Toys and stuff like that, and even like when my older brothers were still around, and them like taking me to the mall, going to KB Toys, like seeing all these X-Men figures, like it was a thing. So when X-Men 97 came out, I was enchanted by the show. So of course, seeing figures, I was like, well, I don't really like 6-inch stuff, but they don't make these in 375. And the old figures were pretty much like 5-inch anyway. So it's a middle ground, whatever. So yeah, I have the X-Men 97 figures. I have most of them. I kind of like, picked my favorites of the bunch. Like I didn't get like all the characters, but I got most of that stuff. I got the Sentinel. They're pretty cool. Speaking of X-Men 97, after this, I'm definitely going to go binge the new episodes that just dropped. Yeah, but that's something else I collect. Other than that, mostly Star Wars. I'll pick up occasional Joy Toy things that I see that are pretty cool. People have been telling me about like the Warhammer figures when it comes to Joy Toy, but not huge into Warhammer. I think some of the stuff looks pretty cool, but it's not anything I've ever really collected. And then I'll pick up like random Haya stuff. Like obviously I've shown off like the Aliens and Predator figures. Their GI Joe figures are actually kind of cool. And I used to collect like some of the Hasbro ones back in like the 2000s. I don't some of them are in my like spaceport and stuff like that, but like I don't really display them. Most of them are like in a shoebox. Like all my Cobra figures and stuff like that. But Haya ones look pretty good. I've been tempted to get that stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to start collecting GI Joe stuff again, or do I want to buy some more clones and stormtroopers and all that jazz? So, yeah, but I don't know if it's 375 and it looks really good and really speaks to me. I'm pretty tempted sometimes. But yeah, I don't collect any Pokemon cards or stuff like that. I never got into Pokemon. I never did. Yeah, it's always been figures for me for the most part. The Geonosian warriors look disgustingly awesome and so ugly but cool. Yeah, they're a pretty bunch, aren't they? I mean, look at my man Poggle. That's a that's a face you love. The mean mug. I mean, Padme, like, yeah, she's classically beauty, but like, look at that. That's and cuddle up next to that guy on a nice warm Geonosian night and like fire, and that's love. That's love. But yeah, look at this. Look at this guy. That's a handsome fellow right there. So ugly. I pre-ordered Galactic Racer for my son. Oh, cool, man. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Looks fun. Looks really cool. That even reminds me that we were talking about N64, that pod racing game. What a time. What a time. I miss having a console. Been so long. Yeah, I know. I kind of actually regret selling my consoles, like my old Super Nintendo, my Wii, my GameCubes, um, even my Sega Genesis and stuff. Like they were cool. They were cool. But it's kind of like collecting sometimes. I was just like, these take up space. I don't use them. Um, to quote Han Solo, I got some debt I got to pay off. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I can sell some of this and like pay off some of this like pre-orders for TVC or whatever the heck I had at the time. But yeah, part of me still regrets it, you know, because it's like I also loved like Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and stuff like that. And like I don't know, there's just those moments sometimes where you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind playing that, you know, wouldn't mind playing that. But yeah, guys, looks like we've gone for 2 hours and a half. That's pretty good, man. Ending on this handsome fella here's note. It has been a good time. We took a look at some of the Geonosis stuff that we've had so far. I think it's been not too bad. I want to see a lot more. And like some of y'all said, we do need to see more Jedi. I think that's a general consensus. More Jedi, some proper updates to some of the Jedi, and just more characters in general. I think they've covered the army builders. I think the droid Daka would be probably one of the last things I would love to see in terms of like army builders. But after that, I think we need to see a lot more Jedi and just some of those, you know, core characters to really flesh out this Battle Geonosis theme. I think we also all can agree that we want to see that poster updated and start seeing it to fill out, even if it's half of the slots filled in or whatever. Like we need to start seeing a little bit more representation with that. I think that would be greatly appreciated by the community. But so far, not too bad. I definitely think I'm going to do another stream. Hopefully, we'll see some more reveals sometime soon. One thing I forgot to tell you guys in the beginning is I was really hoping I would have it here today, but it got delayed just a little bit in the mail. I was going to get Zeb today, but he won't be here until tomorrow. So I was really bummed. I wanted to have a Zeb to kind of just open on screen before I even like review them and stuff like that, but didn't make it, man. But excited to have that. I'll definitely be dropping a review for him soon and let you know all my thoughts and put him some awesome poses. But yeah, again, hopefully we see some more Battle Geonosis reveals and stuff like that. And I'm definitely gonna see if I can get some more friends and stuff like that on the stream and just talk about maybe our most wanted Jedi and rank them and stuff like that we want to see for Battle Geonosis. But heck yeah. See, we got a couple more chats that we'll just finish up here with. I have a ton of pre-orders in. I don't even have the HasLab Cantina, and I have the 4-pack pre-ordered. Right on. Right on. Never ends. Always in motion, the collection is, as they say. The most fun I ever had as a Star Wars collector was Midnight Madness Toys R Us for episode 1. I was first in line and spent like 250 that night. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I was a little too young to make it out for that, but I definitely loved picking up a lot of those figures. Yeah, it was a good time to get some like Jedi figures too, like new fresh Jedi figures. It was great. Jedi Army Builder pack. Hasbro, people want it. Appreciate you, Howrunner Base. Appreciate you, man. Stream tomorrow again? True. Screw it, right? I'll show up and we'll just hang, man. We can talk about some stuff. Probably not tomorrow. I got some other stuff that I want to kind of work on, but also like I said earlier, I want to kind of get back into some photos. I've been a little too swarmed lately, and I've got these great figures that I've never taken photos of yet, like Shock T and stuff. So I need to get up and take some photos. But that could be cool. Maybe one day I'll do like even for like members, I think like a member stream where maybe I just work on an actual live photo shoot. That could be cool. That could be something we do in the future. A legit Star Killer would be nice. Force Unleashed needs love too. Yes, I've made a custom. I've made mock-ups. I want to see Star Killer as well. Hasbro, video game figures, publishing figures. We want them. Fun stream. Appreciate you being here too, man. Appreciate it. Midnight Madness. Heck yes. Love the chat. Again, ending right there, just like Sci-Fi Dude said. Appreciate you all. Really enjoy the chats. Great discussion. Love you guys being here time and time again. Always appreciate the support. Always love just being here, talking toys, getting creative, and just spreading the love when it comes to collecting and stuff in general. But with that being said, man, don't forget to hit a like on this. Subscribe if you're new here for some reason and just stumbling in. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next stream, and may the force be with you. Later.